It'll be a cold open, so we're just going to be there.
Doesn't get any colder than this.
We're here. Hey, everybody. Johnny Beane, John Mancuda, talking guitars and 80s metal live. Welcome.
We're going to skip the intro music today because we're having a little tech issue, as usual.
Welcome. No, actually, I can do the intro from here.
You want to sing it or you want to play it?
My laptop battery is like at 4%. Doesn't want to do anything.
Jesus. It's like an elderly marriage sex life. She doesn't want to do anything.
This is crazy.
But we got the intro music. Welcome, everybody, to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. And it doesn't get any more live than this.
Yeah, this is definitely live. This is definitely live. It is 8:09 Eastern, right here on August what?
3rd.
Third.
August
3rd. And again, welcome to the show. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're brand new to this. Rock talk, guitar shows, all kinds of great stuff here. So let's say hello to our executive producers,
the big bosses. They're in the house.
Yeah,
like Mr. Charles Green, Stephen Franklin, Joe Christian, Michael B, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Bent Tom and Tom Jr., the Chad, James Gum, Jarhead Rock, Wayno, hey now, Wayno, Michael the Captain Smith, Andy Carson, John Moronic, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, Mike Neese, R. Habs, Lenny Lou, and my geriatric sex kitten Mary, False Flag, and Steve Carmichael.
Hey, man. Yeah, that's the top tier of channel members here on Johnny Beane TV YouTube channel. If you'd like to become a channel member, click that join button. It's right below the however many thumbs ups we have. I can't see the screen because my laptop is dead. So
we could always have more. We appreciate thumbs up.
Yeah. Leave a thumbs up. And again, subscribe. And we're also live on Facebook, Johnny Beane TV Facebook page, where you can leave a review. And actually, if you're on Google, you can actually leave reviews for the shows on Google as well. Just go to Johnny Beane TV on Google.
Google loves us. Just Google the word unprofessional and my photo shows right up.
Yeah. He's not kidding. Yeah. So you can help support the shows on Facebook with Facebook Stars, a digital gift that helps with the production of these shows. And I forgot to say, you can help on YouTube with any super chats. We'll change the color of my lights.
Which are inside where Johnny is not.
Although I just got the notifications, so I'm going to head on back in there. So I'll be there in 1 second. Hey, Ned.
What's that noise? The hell? Oh, my
God.
We go. Oh, Johnny, geez. What's going on over there?
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. I hope everything's okay over there.
Oh, man. Look at this. There we go.
Oh, there we go. We got that straightened out.
There we are.
This is the joy of live TV, folks. This is what you got.
Yes. Why won't this turn off? This happened the other
Pinocchio!
Day. There we go. We got Ned. Ned's hanging out.
Ned fixed everything. Thank you, Ned.
Having a great time. There he is. There's the lights. Any support for the channel and the shows will change the color of those lights via super chats. Ned the cat. Let's see.
Blue
what
Rhino.
else? Blue Rhino's here. I think we're live in the Van Halen group as well. Biggest Johnny Beane Facebook Van Halen group out there.
And the second biggest Van Halen group ever. Soon to be the biggest because we're on a membership drive.
Yeah. Yeah. So join the group. Join the
Tell
group.
your friends.
Tell all of your friends about the Van Halen group. And I got to go out and get my laptop now and plug it in so I can actually type stuff. So here's John.
While you're doing that, I'm going to give a nice roll call and say hi to our beloved viewers that are in the chat right now. Let's start with Linny Lou and Mary. Mary. And the wind cries, Mary. Wah, wah, wah. Let's see. Thomas Santiago, Tim Thomas, the original Paramutant. How are you, man? Can't Try 55. Janice Lala. La, 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 la. Tim Thomas in the house. R2R3 Locking Nut. Charles Green, executive producer Charles Green. David Shea Gormery and Mrs. Gormery in the house. Halface. Simon Hosford. Charles, let's see. Tim Thomas, Music Therapy Laz, Black Salami. Thank you, Black Salami. Always a pleasure. John Bulware. Yostinator's in the house. Nightbot's in the house. David Share. Thank you, brother. My girl Sandra Picorni's here. Picorni. 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 Me love you a long time. Always nice to sing the Sandra Picorni song. That's like her theme song, I think. When Sandra walks into the room of a party, hey, has anyone seen Sandra? I don't think she's here yet. Picorni, Picorni. Oh, here she comes now. It's probably something like that. Let's see. R2R3 Locking Nut. Mike Neese in the house. Matt Stewart in the house. How are you, man? Mike Johnson, Turtlehead. Tech more on Tuesday. You bet it is. Chris Bevan, thank you, Chris Bevan. We're all trying to get through this. Thank you, man. And Linny Lou, we love you a long time too. Let's see, in the house, going through the chat. My buddy Fruitcake Tony in the house. Dig it. Good to see you, brother. Let's see, Christopher Live, Sawa, John Bulware in the house. Scrolling through. Simon Hosford, I said that. Who else is joining us since then? Cutting Heads in the house. Crazy Country in the house. Zim's Guitars. Hey, brother. Good to see you. Nelson Rodriguez. Good to see you. Renus. Dr. Pinkle in the house. Robbie Johnson. How are you, man? Shelby S20. Good to see you. Welcome, Shelby S20. First time here. Excellent. Welcome. Let's see. Who else chose to waste their day with us today? Hellstorm's in the house. Majestic PB&J Cat. PB&J Cat. Good to see you. And everyone else that is pouring in as we speak. Welcome, everybody. We're happy to have you here. And Hobo Roadie.
Hobo Roadie.
Boy, I pronounced that wrong.
Hobo Roadie.
It's Johnny's evil twin.
Hobo Roadie.
Hobo. Hey, Hobo.
Hobo Roadie. Hobo Roadie.
Good to see you all. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, you guys.
So I hope everybody had a good week. It's a rough week in metal, Johnny. There's people are dying off or getting sick, or it's just rough. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. I said this. Why am I signed out now? No,
Jesus Christ, Johnny. We're doing a show already. No more of your shenanigans, Beane. Now we're on.
If I'm signed out, this laptop is useless. Okay, whatever.
Again, back to the elderly marriage.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, penis, it's useless.
There we go. No laptop. No, yeah, I said that it was either last week or last Saturday night. It's very tough now because a lot of these bands, a lot of entertainers really that we grew up with,
Getting up there in
are
age.
yeah, yeah.
But even without that, it's just so weird that guys in their 50s. I mean, Dusty Hill just passed away of ZZ Top, like the day after we went off the air on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that's major tragedy. I mean, he was 72. That's still not old. That's
No.
still not up there. When you hear old, you think, okay, you're in your 90s, you're old, okay. But everyone's supposed to be living longer, and Dusty Hill passed away 72. Terrible tragedy, and rest in peace, Dusty Hill. I mean, ZZ Top was a big deal. Elwood Francis, their roadie, their guitar tech, taking over the bass duties because Dusty wanted the band to go on when he passed away. So that was his wishes. So, but I mean, think about that. That's the oldest person we've lost recently. We lost Eddie Van Halen at 65. You lost Joey Jordison recently in his 50s. You lost Mike Howe in his 50s. I mean, these are young guys. What the hell? And now Stephen Pearcy, unfortunately, announced that he's battling liver cancer.
Oh man.
So I mean, what's going on there? And make no mistake, this isn't new. He announced it recently. He just announced it, but he's known that it's been building for 3 years. Pearcy got a blood test. He had hepatitis, and he got a blood test to check for that. And they told him, hey, listen, you also have this cancer thing going on in here. He's like, wait, what? And so he's kept it quiet, but he's at a point where he says, look, I feel guilty now about holding it back because now I'm going through treatments and it's been a long time. And I think it's time to, Hellstorm says Joey was only 46. Jesus. I thought he was like 50. Yeah. Jeff LaBar, another one. I mean, this is really crazy, that we're losing these guys. And, Frankie Banali, another young guy. What's going on? I mean, this is what, and look, we wish Stephen Pearcy well, obviously, in his cancer battle. Cancer is not a death sentence anymore, the way it was years ago. Nowadays, right. I have friends and relatives that have survived cancer and, went on to live normal life again. So, we're hoping that Stephen's treatments are going well and wish him well with that. But, Frankie Banali, we lost him and it just seems sudden that we're losing a lot of guys. And this is why I say, when you can, go see live music, guys. Go see them, because our heroes aren't going to be around forever. Our music isn't going to be around forever. Go support live music while they're with us, because you never freaking know. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome the great Neanderthal.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's interesting that the Stephen Pearcy thing is cool. That he feels like he's going to be okay and that he's getting treatment. I'm on the other side of that, though. I don't want those guys to feel compelled to have to give their personal medical information. I mean, it's a very private thing. The fact that he's chosen to share it with us is great. The one thing that I saw in that story that I thought was interesting was that, he had some surgery and then immediately went right back out onto the road. And I think that's a great example of what you were talking about, which is these guys don't have a long time. And the window of opportunity for them to make money is very small. And so they're going out and they're doing it right now. And, that's why credit to George Lynch for propping up Don Dokken. How many tours does Don Dokken have left? Vince Neil, how many tours does Mick Mars have left? So some of these guys, like Sammy Hagar, who can't stop talking about Van Halen, mentioned in a recent interview that he was glad that he was able to make peace with Eddie Van Halen because Eddie had been he got to a certain point in his life where he just decided that he was above the petty jealousy and the petty name calling and the petty bullshit And I think that might be some of the things that's going on with the guys like Stephen Pearcy and Don and George and the Motley Crue guys. They realize, hey, look, there's a bigger picture here. Time is an unrenewable resource. And the thing that makes us notable in our lives from a professional standpoint shouldn't be put aside for nonsense and bullshit reasons when there's a bigger picture out there and life is finite. And I think Stephen Pearcy, having made peace with the guys in RATT and talking about maybe making another record with those guys, Rudy Sarzo going back to Quiet Riot. I mean, a lot of these guys are sitting back and going, okay, whatever it was that was an obstacle that was keeping us from being what we are, doesn't matter when you're talking about life-threatening situations.
Yeah, no, and you know, you hit the nail on the head. It's like, you know, Rudy Sarzo going back to Quiet Riot, that was because, you know, Frankie Banali always wanted, before he died, he said every time we have Quiet Riot, we should at least have some original band member in there. And, you know, after
Rudy wasn't original.
Well, he was. Let me rephrase that. Not original like Randy Rhoads era back,
but
in the
somebody
day.
That's integral to the cornerstone of the band. Yeah,
right. And to the band's period where they actually broke with "Come On, Feel the Noise."
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
I get what you're saying.
First Metal Health.
Just before somebody
era.
corrects us, I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. You're right. You know, so that was basically why Rudy Sarzo, for those that don't know, Rudy Sarzo in 2022 is going back to Quiet Riot to be the representative of the original band member in the band now that Frankie has passed away. And that was basically, you know, Frankie's wish passed on to his wife, Regina, and Regina basically passed it on to Rudy. Rudy thought about it after he mourned a little bit and said, you know what, of course I'll do that, you know, and that now Rudy Sarzo, probably one of the most well-known and well-toured bass players out there in metal, is going back to his roots. He's going back to Quiet Riot in 2022.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. I saw him at the NAMM show.
He's always at NAMM.
Fist bump one year. And False Flag, thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you, False Flag. And thank you, everyone, for the nice words I'm reading in the chat as we talk on this.
And hello to everybody that said hello. I apologize that I haven't acknowledged everyone.
Hello, Paul.
So, hello.
Hello. Hello.
That was wrong.
Yeah. No. So yeah. You know, think about how far Rudy has been in bands. Ozzy, Dio, Queensryche, Quiet Riot, Whitesnake. I mean, Blue Oyster Cult, I think, also at one point.
Yeah, Rudy is one of those guys. He's a lot like Tommy Aldridge and a lot like
fits in everywhere.
He has, well, that's when you're well-rounded. Again, look, we've talked about this before when bad-mouthing a certain has-been, never was bass player in the Los Angeles Strip who thinks they matter. If you're a good bass player, there's always going to be a gig for you. There's always going to be a gig.
You won't get laid. You won't get laid. I mean, Rudy will, but everyone else, you won't get laid.
But that whole idea of there's always a spot for a decent bass player. A good bass player is always going to have a gig. And Rudy is a good bass player. And by the way, you know, he's the right level of proficiency. He's not a virtuoso. He's not Billy Sheehan. He's not Les Claypool. He's not Robert Trujillo. There isn't an expectation of celebrity with Rudy Sarzo. He's a guy. Rudy Sarzo, cool. You know, he's a utility guy that's always been there. And he's good.
Solid.
And he's good. And by all accounts, a nice guy.
Very. From
he's very
what
cool.
We've seen. You know, and Carlos Cavazo also. You know, there's another, you know, survivor through those bands, you know. You know, going back to Pearcy, I'm glad he's you know, opened the door to other, you know, the other RATT guys coming back together and whatever. At least the door is open. Whether it works out or not, I like to see amends made and bridges mended and fences mended, and, you know, just the possibility that everything, you know, can happen again. you know, and if something bad did happen, God forbid, you know, you've made your amends with your former friends, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't hold grudges, because there's not you know, there's not time for that. So please call me. You know who you are. Everybody screwed me over. I'll take your phone calls now.
Right now, Johnny's switchboard is lighting up like a Christmas tree. I'm sorry, Johnny. I was a dick to you, man.
Have we talked about Johnny's cravat? What the fuck is going on with your neck?
You like that?
What
is that because California has instituted a mask mandate again, and you just have? Yeah,
it's like back everywhere I go, man.
You're Bazooka Joe now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great, man. I can walk around like this. It's like no big deal.
Great.
You know?
Yeah.
Pull it a little higher.
You're a Blue Man. Higher. You're a member of the Blue Man group now.
And look, nice. I can still see. I can still talk.
Johnny's a superhero.
Great.
I'm changed my lights, man.
He's raw ass.
It's like Johnny has a condom stretched over his head.
Ace, knock it off. Ace is in the other room right now throwing pillows around.
Oh, no.
Nice.
That's what he does.
Did he break something already? Jesus.
He will. What are you doing, asshole?
I'm doing a show. What are you talking about?
What are you doing? Yeah, he's like, what, Daddy? What? I'm not doing anything bad.
You saw me doing something? No.
I'm completely innocent. Look, I'm very innocent. Look, I'm just going to give you my ass to scratch.
And look, you know, support live music. Keep people like Stephen Pearcy in your prayers, and you know what? You know, Oz Fox recovering from brain surgery. Let's give a shout out to him, and also Mike Garby. Mike Garby, right here of Headbangers. Mike Garby's Headbangers. He's recovering from back surgery, so that's why I'm wearing the shirt. Shout out to you, brother.
Mike.
Get well soon, man.
Get well, man.
Hilarious. Yeah, Mike and I used to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike was the night guy at KDKB here in Arizona. And then went down to Tucson. Well, he started out down in Tucson, came up here to Phoenix for a while, went back to Tucson, and now he's doing a lot of concert promotion and other things. A good dude.
Yeah, sweetheart of a guy. And Mike made me this shirt custom because usually his logos are all white on a black background, and he knows I wear pink, so he purposely had a pink one made just for me. So really, thank you so much, Mike.
He is one of the things that Mike knows how to do, that is promote his brand and putting those shirts together. You see that everybody has them. You know, all the
they're
guys
cool. Look at that. That's a cool
Yeah.
design shirt. It's like it's like, you know, I've said that the same thing about the Zim's guitars.
Yeah,
those shirts have a cool design on them. So yeah, you know, we
I
give
have
some
neither
out
of them
during Halloween, huh?
I have neither of them. Zim hasn't given me a shirt, and Mike hasn't given me a Headbanger shirt. So
What?
I'll just
What
wear
the
this guy. I don't know.
Where's
I
the
don't know.
love? Where's the love for Neanderthal? Why does
None.
Paul not have these
I give-
shirts?
Head over there.
Yeah,
Take
I
us
should
over to
go over there
Zim's.
right now.
Take us to Zim's.
You should take us live to Zim's and have him fit you for a shirt. I want to see
Yes.
you standing in front of a three-way
With the
mirror
tape measure.
with him with a needles in his mouth and doing your hem, and you know.
You
hold
want
on
to
there, hold on.
see him with the tape measure in my crotch.
Yeah, like a
Wow.
Jewish tailor. Like a Jewish tailor. I want to see him
Why does the tailor have to be Jewish?
because we are. We just are.
But if you're a Jewish tailor, aren't you a haberdasher?
Let me tell you something. Even in the Smurfs cartoon, when they introduced Taylor Smurf, he was a Jew. It was really funny because he's fitting Smurfette for a dress and he's hemming the skirt, and she goes, "Ah, Taylor, you did such nice work. I know my business." And that's literally what he said, like that. I know my business.
So ethnic.
Hey, listen, I know my tribe. A lot of us became tailors.
Tailors, lawyers, running the media. What other stereotype can we throw?
We own the Diamond District.
Yep.
We own the jewelry. We own the media. Hey, listen, we were smart. We came out of Egypt and we bought certain things. We bought the media. We bought that. So we
Yeah.
do the entertainment biz. We bought the garment district and the diamond district. Solid investments for my people. That's what I like to see. Yeah. So Johnny's got a poll
stuff.
up there in the
And
audience.
semi-automatic submachine guns. You're real good at that too.
Well, in Israel we are, sure.
Yeah.
We made the Uzi, baby, the standard of cool G.I. Joe-esque weapons. Johnny's got a survey in the chat if you guys want to participate. Should Paul go down to Zim's Guitars and get a shirt? I voted yes.
He gave me a shirt.
Yeah,
He
we
gave you
were
one.
giving him out as prizes on Halloween.
Right? Yeah. But
Yeah.
he gave us shirts at the NAM when we were at the restaurant.
Nope, I'm not cool enough for a shirt. I only buy guitars from him.
I know, right? You're like his best customer, and where's never a shirt, never a shirt.
Never. No shirt for you.
No shirt. He's a shirt Nazi. Yeah, I'm an XL. No shirt for you.
No shirt.
You want pants?
Already.
$2.
Dane, do you ship those shirts? Never a ship shirt. Never a ship.
Actually, Dane hired somebody to ship for him now. He hired his kid.
Really?
Yeah, so
Oh.
Dane is now full of ship.
Now he's so now he's shipping. Okay.
Is he in the chat? Is that why we're making fun of him?
He is in the chat. Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Or somewhere. He was a few minutes ago. I
I'm not
assume he's
making
still
fun
here.
of him.
No, we're not. We're having fun with him. There's a difference. Dana's our buddy, so we're allowed to have fun with him.
Christopher Live Solo. You don't get a free helmet just because you bought the motorcycle. Actually, in these days now you do. They give you, helmets and shit. They throw it in there for you.
It's like throwing the mats into a car when you buy a car.
Yeah, it's
No deal unless we get the mats. All right.
you're gonna have to do the undercoating. This is my deal, Wade.
I miss the car business. No, let's see. Yeah, and like we talked about, Dusty Hill.
Well, the Dusty Hill thing is look, we've lost a lot of people recently.
Right?
The Dusty Hill thing, what I think is very Gene Simmons-esque of the guys in ZZ Top. Man, they played the next night. Like he died and they were on stage the next night. Like that's what those guys do, man. They play. That's what they do.
But that was also Dusty's request.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, and it's how selfish would it be if somebody they're on their deathbed, they're like, look, man, I'm not doing well, so when I die, shut the band down. Like, really? Like, I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think anybody. That'd be kind of a dick move, and by all accounts, the guys in ZZ Top were never really dicks. But I mean,
far from it.
Would it be great? I mean, the only guys that could possibly do that would be like Yngwie. Don't go on without me. Okay, we don't want to go on. We don't want to go on with you, much less without you.
It'll suck without me.
Well, no, I mean, and David Shea Gomery brought up, or is it Gomori? I apologize. Gamera.
Friend of children.
The Who went on after Moon died, and they went on after Entwistle died. And I've always said, why doesn't Paul McCartney call up Ringo Starr, and then the two of them call up Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey and go out on tour as Beatles Who? It'd be a great supergroup. Wouldn't that be a great supergroup?
Beatles? Question mark?
Who? I think that'd be great.
Or the Hoodles.
That'd be really funny. That'd be really funny. And Metalania says Yngwie would totally do that. I could see that.
Mike Neese asked the question: do I have a vinyl copy of "Slave to the Grind" from Skid Row? I don't know. I don't have much vinyl left anymore. No, I have the original CD pressing, but I don't think I have the vinyl pressing. Are you looking for the one with "Get the Fuck Out" on it? Is that
that's why I have two copies of that CD.
Yeah, that's why I have the original copy. That's probably why you're looking for it. My guess is.
Yeah, I bought both versions because I literally just wanted that extra song.
It's an interesting that you say that because the 30th anniversary issue or reissue of Mr. Big's Lean Into It came out. And that's obviously their big record, the one with To Be With You and Green Tinted 60s Mind on it. So they put out this extended version of it, and there are bonus tracks on it. But
Love
the bonus track, the bonus tracks are coming from an era of time where I think I already have them on the Japanese Vault box set, because that one is 22 CDs and most of it is demos, and it's insane. Have I ever shown this to you, John?
We talked about this. We talked about bring it over though, because Mr. Big 22 fucking CDs.
By the way,
I mean,
22 CDs. If you've never seen this before,
Oh my gosh.
look at the size of that thing.
this thing is only available in Japan. All right, because
Wow.
Mr. Big is big in Japan, and you get. I mean,
The Japanese
sick,
have really good taste in music.
It's a sick package.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you get
The vault.
and
With
this came out-
all respect to Billy, does Mr. Big really need 22 fucking CDs?
By the way, 22 CDs from like their first 4 album sessions.
I mean, that's like something you do with the Beatles or Led Zeppelin or something. Or
I mean, they've got
Metallica, maybe.
concert touring stuff
Kiss.
in here. Japanese flyers. This is the dumbest thing ever. This is a band that has 2 hits.
I hope you didn't pay for that.
Oh, I paid for it. Oh, I paid for it, Jerry. 2 DVDs of live shows, and this is, by the way, this
DVDs.
is DVD. This all happened like before 1995. Like all the material on this is before Kotzen joined the band.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's stupid. So
That's like as much as you could beat a dead horse as possible.
here, check this out. You want to see how to do a box set?
Is it good?
Yes, it's awesome.
Is all the songs like really good? Like
The
stuff
whole
that
thing
should
is
have been.
The whole thing is awesome. So now we're talking.
Jesus
You want to do a box
Christ.
set?
That's like a twister board.
You want to do a box set? Here's how you do it.
They look like little vinyls.
That's what they are. They're set up like little vinyls. And there are pages of them here. They all flip open, and there's more.
Right hand green. Left foot
It's
yellow.
ridiculous how many. I mean, this is the most amazing package.
Can you
Maybe.
remember like anything off that set?
Nope.
Hey, even Ron Jeremy's package isn't that big.
This is the most ridiculous box set you'll ever see from a band who really shouldn't have a box set.
I can't believe they sold more than one.
Well, I've got the one that they sold.
That's what I'm thinking. It's you and Paul's mother, maybe.
But it's pretty amazing. Like there's I mean, you got that one has like and you got backstage passes and lanyards and all this stuff.
Wow.
And by the way, this is all like from the inception of the band until like maybe Get Over It, like their third or fourth album. So it's ridiculous the amount of material that they put in this thing. So
That's
It's
like 3 years.
It's like Paul Gilbert's storage area.
it's
We
it's
throw
so
some lanyards
stupid.
in there, and what else we got? T-shirts. Holy
So it's
shit!
It's almost impossible to put away too, because it's
Dude,
the
that thing's
packaging.
huge on the shelf. It's like a phone book.
No, it is. It's actually it's the size of a small. It's a cereal box.
Wow.
I mean, it's massive. So my question,
That's
my
what she
thing is,
said.
being a completist, I passed on buying the reissue of Lean Into It because my guess is whatever's on Lean Into It is probably on this collection because this is archival from that period of time.
David Shea Gormley says that's not a box set. That's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah,
He's not wrong, man. Hey, Zach Thong, welcome.
yeah. This is
Zach.
stupid. I gotta put it back in there with the rest of the.
Mike Neese says, I saw Mr. Big open for Rush in the Presto tour in Minneapolis. Great show.
Everybody
No
saw
chick-
that tour.
No chicks. No chicks.
No.
So everybody who's male saw that show. Yes. There's never girls at a Rush show.
Nope.
So the point is, that might be the first Mr. I own that box set, but I won't spend the $12 for the reissue of Lean Into It.
Dude, they owe you $12. They should mail it to you to complete your set.
I actually grabbed a Mr. Big record for you the other day because I bet you don't have it. Get Over It.
Let's
I
see.
bet you don't have that one.
You know, I don't think I do actually.
Nope.
What is it?
No, Get Over It was their fourth album.
What year did that come out?
Jumbio.
Don't know. Don't know.
Wait a
Doesn't
minute.
say it on there.
Tracy Wise has been to a Rush show.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I bet
Was
it
that
does say
before you transitioned, Tracy, or?
Oh, no, that's not right.
Just kidding. I'm just shocked to see a girl went to a Rush show.
Even
Good
with my
for you,
glasses on, I
Tracy.
can't read the print.
Tracy represent. Tracy represents for all women right now.
But I figured
She
I
was the
already
token.
have this album, and I saw it, and because you never see it in any stores, I'm like, you know who'd appreciate this? It would be Mancuda. So I'll send it off to you at some point.
Oh,
Thank you,
wow.
Paul.
Are you
Thank
going
you,
to send it
Paul.
to me and then have me
Nope.
send it to him?
Paul
Nope.
could send it to
No,
you.
I'm not. No, I'm not,
No, 'cause
I'm not sending
I
it to
want
you.
to actually get it.
Yeah, 'cause
I
he
wanna
wants to get it.
actually get it. Yeah.
I'm not going to keep it.
Yeah, no, Paul.
Yes, you are.
I don't
John-
care.
Johnny has
It's
a
Paul
whole
Gilbert.
eBay account. Johnny has a whole eBay account of listings of stuff fans have sent me that I've never received. It's like there's like a Vinnie Vincent Invasion jacket. There's like, there's like a Kiss guitar replica. Johnny's got all this cool stuff on eBay. I'm like, wow, that's all stuff I would like.
Gene
And what
Simmons
is
is
that?
actually sitting here waiting to visit you.
So
Gene-
yeah, so that ends my Mr. Big story. But I love the band. I have everything they've recorded clearly.
So
But
you've heard every song in that box set?
yeah,
But can you
Well,
seriously remember any of
Johnny, it's the same 10 songs done
'Cause
100
that's-
times
it
over.
is. There are a lot of different studio demos, early releases, a lot of live stuff, 2 live.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's Mr. Big taped almost every show, and
so it's a lot of the same thing over and over and over. Just
it's a lot
different-
of sessions for the first like 3 albums.
Okay, so it's not like 22 like brand new records that were only
No,
put out in
but
Japan.
Mr. Big does have like 15 albums out. You probably don't know that because only 2 of them did anything in the United States.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
buddy was responsible for that one song.
What song?
To
Which
be with
buddy?
you.
Which
To
buddy?
be with you.
Drop that name. Which buddy?
My buddy, John the
Which
Animal
one?
Terry. He was the DJ
Ah.
that started playing that song, and that's why it became such a huge hit, because of him.
So
Well, there's multiple versions of that song, Johnny. It's called "Just Want to Be with You," "Just Be with You," "Be with You." There's also there's a whole CD of just that song, but variations of it.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Man.
if you count all the live albums that Mr. Big has, they have 9 studio albums, but altogether they have 21 albums because they've released so many live albums in Japan.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I remember they released a live DVD from San Francisco. I remember renting that one at Blockbuster
A day.
years ago.
Ooh, Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs throws one on the board. Keel or Killer Dwarfs? Somebody is going through their CD collection and stopped at K.
No kidding, right?
This is a tough one for me. Tough one, really tough one for me.
That's hard, but I know my answer.
I like Killer Dwarfs, I think, better. But I have friends that are in Keel, so and yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
It's either hump or death. Hump,
Well-
death, hump, death, hump,
Well,
death.
here's the thing: I never got a hand job during a Keel show.
Or Rush show. Or hopefully not a Rush show.
They're both.
Boy,
Yeah,
that,
boy, that
feels
would be
good.
awkward.
Ah,
Well, nobody knows how to do it like you do.
I know what you want. I know what you want.
I actually like both bands a lot. I think both bands are supremely underrated. Killer
Thrash
Dwarfs were
Metal's
great.
right. There is no wrong answer here. There really isn't.
Unless you say neither.
I mean, the right answer is really both, but
Yes, Sammy, Get Over It was the first album with Richie Kotzen.
what's your choice, Paulie? What do you narrow it down to?
What?
Between Keel and Killer Dwarfs. Let's hear in the chat also between those two bands who you guys like.
I like
Better.
the Keel Dwarfs myself.
Keeler Dwarfs.
Keeler Dwarfs, another super group.
I like Keel. I thought Keel was a good band. I think obviously Gene Simmons exploited them on the first two major label records. They had a record out before on Shrapnel Records called Lay Down the Law that was pretty good. But then they got signed to A&M Gold Mountain, and Gene Simmons was basically their producer / mentor. That was back during the time when Gene wasn't paying any attention to Kiss and was trying to manage bands like Black and Blue and Keel and Silent Rage and he was trying to be a music industry magnet. And Keel's Right to Rock record, Final Frontier record, and the self-titled record, that was a pretty good 3-album run. I mean, they never really had a million seller, but they had a couple of gold records. And then sort of, music, as it did for everybody, changed in 1990, 91. And that was it for Keel.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like both bands rather. I have all records from both bands.
Yeah, I do too.
They're both great. There's no wrong answer. The right answer is both. Given a choice, if I had to choose just one, I would lean toward Killer Dwarfs.
Killer Dwarfs, I think, write catchier songs. I don't know that they're necessarily. I'm not know that they're necessarily better songs, but Killer Dwarfs wrote more singable songs that would probably be more mass appeal. That would probably had, if you took both bands' best songs, 3 best songs from both bands, and put them on the radio and put it to a vote to the masses, I think the masses would enjoy hearing Killer Dwarfs more than they would Keel. Keel is a little more aggressive, a little more metal, and I think it's more of an acquired taste, where I think Killer Dwarfs is a little more mass appeal.
And mind you, a lot of people don't know about the Killer Dwarfs.
Right, I mean, that's the problem.
Wally and I are music geeks, so we have this shit. I know. I literally paid like $100 and something for a rare CD of the Killer Dwarfs. I mean,
the first one,
I think,
or Stand Tall.
I want to. It was probably the first one. Whatever's the rarer one.
Stand Tall is pretty rare.
I didn't have. I don't remember. I remember I was short a Hurricane and a Killer Dwarfs that I couldn't find anywhere, and this is going back years ago, and it was like 120 for one, 135 for the other, and I paid it because I'm like, if I can't find it and I really, really want it, I'm gonna go for it.
I felt that way about Desperado. I think I paid like $80 for the Desperado CD.
Desperado. Didn't you also have that in vinyl?
No.
Who has that in vinyl?
I don't know.
I thought, is that a David Shea Gomery? Was that the one you had in vinyl? I don't know. All I know is, for me, it would be Killer Dwarfs. Survey says Keel wins by 61% to our audience. I
think that's an awareness thing.
Both are good. Yeah, Keel's definitely a bigger known band. I mean, I don't know if you heard both side by side if you choose Keel, but I mean, like I said, there's no wrong entry on that.
Keel has some really good songs that nobody's ever heard. And I think that's one of the, and obviously the only songs that anybody knows in America from Killer Dwarfs is Stand Tall, Keep the Spirit Alive, and
Dirty Weapons.
Either Dirty Weapons or We Stand Alone.
What was the one with the video where he's in the crate?
That's Stand Tall, or Keep the Spirit Alive. Excuse me. They're both in that because that was sort of a series of videos, weird videos. Ron Keel did a record with a Japanese guitar player. The record was called Saber Tiger. That's actually pretty good. And Iron Horse was okay. I mean, Ron has a lot of, he shoots for average. He throws a lot of stuff against the wall to see who sticks. I mean, he's got a pretty interesting work ethic. He's a really nice guy. His wife, Renee, is a cancer survivor. She's the nicest woman. And the guys in his band, most of them are actually very good. Are very nice guys. Mark Ferrari is temperamental. You can get, if you get him.
Great player, though.
He's a great player, but he's temperamental. He's not a social animal. Let's put it that way. He's not a bad guy. He's just not a social animal. He's not a gregarious, outgoing guy. But a lot of guitar players are like that.
I met him.
I met him too. I mean,
see, that's all you needed. Nice that's all you needed to hear was, "Oh, not very outgoing." I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Johnny goes to like a not outgoing support meeting. It's like, you know, they all sit in a circle and don't talk to each other. They just kind of look at each other and be antisocial. And that's where he met. That's where he met Mark.
Hard Luck Town was not big in the United States, Cheech. That didn't happen here.
Fret Level Midnight says, I voted for Keel because Dwarfs was spelled wrong.
No, that's how they spell it.
Well, it's because it's his last name.
Yes. Well, it's like the Ramones. They're all dwarf. And Metallica, yes, they do. Both bands still play. Ron Keel has like 3 bands. Ron Keel does his own thing acoustically. He also has the Ron Keel band, and then he has Keel. And I think it's really a matter of what set does he want to do. You know, his Ron Keel band stuff is not as good as Keel. Keel's the best thing he does, and it's not that great.
Look at Thrash Metal coming up with survey questions. Now he says Vixen, or I think he meant to say Lita Ford, but he said Liuta.
2 of my friends are in Vixen. There's no argument there. I love Lita Ford personally. Nice woman, but 2 of my friends are in Vixen, so I can't vote on that.
That's another real even playing field there, to be fair.
Sure.
Wow. I saw Joan Jett. I saw Joan Jett on Sunday.
Johnny, what the fuck does Joan Jett have to do with Lita Ford or Vixen? Was Joan Jett one of the options? Was he?
Lita Ford and Joan Jett. That's where they started.
Well, that was the Runaways.
Yeah. By the way, she was great. Awesome show.
Joan Jett?
Joan Jett.
Oh,
yeah, she's still great.
Joan's
She does
very
her thing.
underrated. Very underrated.
Yep.
Very, very cool. I mean, here's the thing. Lita is like the queen of metal, or at least that's how I see her. I mean, she really brings it. She plays her instruments, and she brings it every show live. She's terrific. I think that the trick is, though, Vixen has a little catchier songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that goes back. It's almost the same
analogy as Keel.
Same analogy. Yeah, they write more appealing songs, more enjoyable,
more poppy, catchy songs.
Yep.
And let's see, Eduardo Marino Porto, how are you, brother?
Eduardo Marino Porto.
Eduardo, hey man.
Yeah, thank you, Simon Hosford. So let's see, what were we talking about?
Joan Jett.
By the way, my friend Tyson is the ugliest chick in Vixen. Tyson Leslie is his name. Tyson is a guy that is you want to talk about a utility player. He can play every instrument. He can sing. If you Google or you look on YouTube, Tyson Leslie, TysonSleslie, you'll see him. He looks a little like Herman Lee from Dragon Force, and he's jammed with everybody.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's cool.
Watch.
Johnny, did you roommate with him once or anything? Or
how do you spell it? Tyson
Leslie. Tyson Leslie.
Like the chickens, John.
And Brittany Denaro, who is also known as Brit Lightning, which is a dumb stage name, but she took it when she was really young, and now she's stuck with it.
I did it again.
She's stuck with it.
My money.
Tyson. I know who this dude is. Yeah.
See?
Tyson Leslie. He plays on Twitch. He does live streams all the time, playing and singing songs.
He's great.
There's a town I know where the hipsters go called Bedrock. Twitch.
Tyson is a super talented guy. He started out as Vixen's, essentially their road manager, but then he became their off-stage keyboard player, and he creates all kinds of other textures for the band while they're out on tour. And then my friend Brittany started out in a band called Jaded back in Boston, and is one of the best guitar players on the planet that you don't know about, because she's a chick, and unfortunately women aren't taken seriously as guitar players,
which is sad.
Yeah, I
know. We both know so many that do rock.
Some of them are
not as much as they should be. Not as much as they.
There's Tyson. Tyson, the ugliest chick in Vixen.
Which one's him?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's bad when Roxy Petrucci is taller than you.
I was about to say, the chicks are towering over him. Every one of them is towering over the poor guy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Brittany is the girl with the electric smile immediately to Tyson's, his left, our right. She is just the nicest girl.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She's stunningly beautiful, super talented. Couldn't be a nicer person. I wish her all of the success in the world. The funny thing about it is it really is that story of Rockstar where she grew up, because remember, she's significantly younger than everybody else in that band. Brittany might be in her late 30s, early 40s, maybe late 30s. And she listened to Vixen in junior high and high school and then ended up in the friggin' band.
It happens.
Yeah. Oh, the Great Cat. Oh, Great Cat was a
I'm
ridiculous
trying to forget
guitar
that.
player.
I'm trying to forget
she's
that girl.
What a bitch.
That
Great
was
story.
terrible stuff.
Great story about the Great Cat. So she's at this thing called CMJ, which is the college music journal. It's a convention. And she went up. There was a dais. I think it was like Scotty Ian, Don Dokken, Billy Milano from SOD, MOD, and a couple other people. And I think Lemmy. And Lemmy's up there. And it's like these 5 or 6 people up there in the dais answering these questions. And it's questions from the audience. They get the microphone in the middle of the room, the hotel room, the ballroom, and people going up and asking the questions. So the Great Cat walks up there. And I'm going to use some salty language here when we get to it. But she comes up to the microphone. She goes, "Hey, let me ask you a question. How come if a guy gets up there and shreds and he's a great guitar player and he's aggressive and he's full of all ego and stuff like that, he's considered awesome. But if an aggressive woman comes up there and plays, you call her a bitch or a cunt, and she's like freaking out." And Billy and Lemmy goes, "I don't even know who you are. I don't remember. I don't know who you are." He goes, "I don't remember ever calling you a bitch or a cunt or anything." And she goes, "Well, she goes, well, not you per se." He goes, "Oh, all right." And Billy Milano grabs the microphone and goes, "All right, well then sit down and shut the fuck up, you bitch cunt." I was like, "Oh,
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
And Milano just didn't. His give a shit didn't matter.
Did she also have like an electric violin or something?
She was a Juilliard student. She was a student of the Juilliard School of Music, which is one of the greatest classical. It's a premier classical music college in America. There's two great music schools on the planet. There's Juilliard and Berkeley. And the Berkeley School of Music is where guys like Pat Metheny and Ian Thornley and Steve Vai and Joe Stump all went to Berkeley. And then the Great Cat and all these fantastic classical artists go to Juilliard. If you want to do jazz, you go to Berkeley. If you want to do classical, you go to Juilliard. And she's a phenomenally talented musician, but she was completely nuts.
See, and I didn't see her as very talented. I mean,
she's talented, but she's nuts. She's talented in the same way. Talented in the same way that Jim Gillette and Michelangelo are talented. It's clear they know what they're doing, but they've got no restraint.
Well, there you go. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't like the material that both her and Jim Gillette put out separately.
Couldn't agree more.
There you go.
But you know what I mean. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And she
knows how to play an instrument. It was terrible. I thought it was terrible.
There was no self-awareness or restraint in her canon. Her library, her catalog is just throw it up, throw it all, and go as fast and as loud as you can, and that's garbage.
I mean, there are a lot of talented girls out there. We've talked on the show about Sandy Soraya and Doro Pesh and Lita Ford and Joan Jett, and I mean, there's a lot of good female talent out there. What's her name?
Orianthi,
but I'm thinking of
Nita Strauss.
Not Nita, but she's another one. I mean, let's put it this way: Alice Cooper doesn't pick junk, right?
Yeah, and there were other bands that were like that too. I mean, let's face it: Femme Fatale didn't suck, Soraya didn't suck, Baby Animals didn't suck. Just because there's a female in the band, Shawnee So from White Zombie is a great bass player. I mean, you're talking about it's a gender thing, it's gender bias, and it exists especially in the style of music that we like.
Nilly Broche is who I was thinking of, and more recently, Phoenix Vanderweeden.
Sure,
girl Phoenix.
Yeah, and Jennifer Batten.
Yeah, I mean,
who is the Eddie Van Halen of female guitar players.
There's a lot of really good talent out there, and it doesn't matter if they're male or female. I mean, it's music, guys. It's all music. So
Fret Level Midnight brings up Drain STH. Drain STH is a fantastic band. And you know, when you're the ugliest chick in Drain STH, you're still pretty good looking.
It's better than the one you'll be dating. Let's see. Fret level midnight. Let's see. She's crazy talented, but she's more crazy than Jacko was. I mean, wacko Jacko. Yeah, no, she was nuttier than a nut bar. Doro Pesh, incredibly talented.
Of course, yes.
Gretchen
Lee
Menn.
Aaron. You know, Lee Aaron, Girl School. People forget that
Larry
Girl
Basillo.
School parallels the Runaways. Girl School was around in the 70s, the same way in England, the way the Runaways were here in the United States, and they wrote their own music and did their own thing, and were a fantastic band. Girl School, Rock Goddess. They were, you know, in Europe, females were taken a little bit more seriously than they've ever been taken here.
Janice Lala.
Yeah, Janice.
Easily. And the girls in Heart, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Nancy Wilson can shred a guitar.
Thank you, Simon Hosper.
Nancy Wilson is a great guitar player.
She's terrific. She's terrific.
And a sweetheart as a woman.
And a great actress too.
She's, well, I don't know about an actress, but
Wendy O. Williams. There's another great actress. Wendy O. Williams.
Wendy was something, man. Wendy was
that's a great way to put it. She was something.
She was something. Wendy was
something.
Not Wendy was a character. Wendy was
I mean, she was a scream queen kind of girl, you know? I mean, that was kind of like her shtick. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Wendy was a female Gigi Allen without the shit.
Thank God.
Wendy was great. She was a character.
Speaking of shit, thank you to our sponsor, Bang Energy Drink. Nothing to get the taste of shit out of your mouth for those tossing salad weekends. Delicious Bang Energy Drink.
Jesus.
Today's flavors, key lime pie. Absolutely.
Gross.
No, this is delicious. Tasting shit is
Keep
gross.
telling yourself that.
Thank you, Paul.
Key lime pew.
Pubes? No, there's no pubes in key lime pie. Not related to beaver pie, which is their upcoming flavor. Thank you, Bang Energy Drink.
Ew.
Hey, Johnny, if you don't like it, it's not for you, but don't knock it. There we go. Thank you. That's Bang Energy Drink there. Mike Smith as well. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Motorhead and Wendy was an awesome show, Metalinier says.
Sure it was. Yeah, no, I mean,
because Motorhead was there.
Well, no, Wendy was a great show. The Plasmatics were not very good. Wendy O. Williams was not very good. The one record she put out,
she was a
the one record she put out that Kiss wrote for her was great. The Wendy O. Williams record, the Wow record, is a great record. She had about the same kind of vocal range as Lemmy too.
Well, that's because Kiss wrote it for her. We wrote it for her.
This was another example of Gene trying to make money off of another artist.
How much did we charge them for writing that record, Gene?
A nominal fee.
That's right. We got paid a nominal fee. We definitely did.
By the way, I have the Wendy O record. It's a great record. I like it. It's a Kiss record, but I mean, even to the point where the background vocals are Kiss. If you've ever listened to it, it's basically Wendy O. Williams singing and then Kiss putting all the background vocals in there. In fact, Thief in the Night ended up on, I think, Asylum at one point. They basically took the songs back and said, all right, we're just going to cash in on these songs because
we
wasted
play
them.
on her record?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Ace Frehley's on. Everybody's on it. Everybody is on that Wendy O record.
Wow.
By the way, speaking of Kiss, today's show and tell guitar, the hint is it has something to do with both Kiss and Metallica. There's your clue. We'll see. We'll see what that is later. Ah! Right now, Ellie's watching the show. Daddy!
By the way,
David J. Gomery, yes, it was recorded right around the same time, 82, and released in 84.
Whoa. By the way, Metal Wednesday didn't happen last week just because it'll be happening tomorrow. Metal Wednesday.
So tomorrow, join Jay Hannon and Boner Jams for Metal Wednesday. here on
Browns
Johnny
fan.
Bean TV.
Browns fan guesses it's an ESP. I actually have one of my favorite ESPs ever that I've been playing this week because everybody knows I love Les Pauls.
Is that an Eclipse?
This is an ESP USA custom Eclipse. They only made them in the United States back in the 90s for 2 years. The ESP custom shop that was open in Hollywood. Bolt-on neck, but every bit an ESP. Just
Is that a belly cut I'm seeing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look at that.
Wow.
Because you don't really see that as
and it's
as
thin.
defined
It's
in a
really
Les Paul.
thin.
How much does that weigh?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 7-8 pounds. I mean, it's not. It's a thin guitar, but it's it's not routed in any way. So that's solid mahogany.
How light is it?
No, seriously, Paulie, how much does it weigh?
How heavy isn't it?
I would probably say 8 or 9 pounds. It's not too heavy. Because again, it's not routed in any way. There's no Swiss cheese,
no chambering, nothing.
No chambering, none of that stuff. It's 24 fret, ebony neck, EMG 81s, active 81s in it. This is not a delicate jazz guitar. This is if you are a Les Paul fan but you like shredding, this is a shredder guitar. If there's ever such thing as a shredder guitar as a single cut, this is it. And when they made these in the 90s, for a couple of years, this was the top of the line custom shop ESP, and it's great.
What's the neck on that like?
Very, very thin. Very thin. It's
like
an ESP,
D shape kind of thing.
Slim D. I mean, it's pretty. I've got a fat hand, and this thing, is it's a quick neck. A little bit of a volute on the headstock. If you can see the headstock. A little bit of a volute on it.
Oh, hold on, Paulie. Dane Zimmerman in the chat wants to know that guitar is nice. Where did you get that?
I don't know.
Try to think.
I would have had a T-shirt from that place if I could only remember.
Was it a local music store in Arizona?
May have been. I don't know where you could. It doesn't matter where I bought it because if you're not watching in Arizona, you can't get one because never shipped.
They didn't ship that guitar to you?
Never shipped. No, I shipped it from the back of his store to my car.
But now he ships. You said he said he ships now.
Well, he's supposed to be shipping.
The kid's in the background instead, just pocketing gear. He's taking knobs and pickups. And did you ship anything today? Not yet.
This is the next. This should have been. Obviously, they were sued for these for a while, which is why that lower bout is so pointy. This is the evolution of the Les Paul. If everybody said, okay, well, how can you make a Les Paul better? This makes a Les Paul better. Thinner neck, so it's not that big baseball bat neck. 24 frets, so you can really shred that. Trying to get up to the top of that neck is tough with my hand because my hand doesn't fit. But this is and the EMGs scream out of this thing.
You can break the headstock, put another neck on it.
Yeah, you can break the headstock and just put another neck on it if you want to, because it's a bolt. But it is. It's legit ESP.
Les Paul 2000.
This is a great guitar, and it's a rare guitar.
It's like the Les Paul Terminator got sent from the future.
Yes, Metallic A. It's better. It's a better guitar than a Les Paul.
Oh,
because it's got the tuning stability.
Man.
The tuning stability. By the way, Les Pauls are my favorite guitars. This is the evolution of it. All of the flaws of the Les Paul are addressed in this guitar. They just are.
Well, it's true. Metallini says not all Les Pauls are fat neck. That's true.
But they're all fatter neck than this.
Yeah, that's
point.
More of a shredder neck.
It's a shredder neck. This is for people who love single cut guitars but want to shred. That's what this is for. This is for guys that love this style of guitar but want to play fast. That's what this is. It's all of the cool things that ESP or Ibanez or any of those shred guitar companies build in a traditional body shape. And it cleans up pretty good, but EMGs are not delicate pickups. The active EMGs these are meant to be played loud, wide open.
Johnny just put up a survey in the chat. Is that ESP better than a Les Paul? I mean, that's a matter of personal taste. I mean, they're two different animals.
A Les Paul is my favorite guitar. It's my favorite guitar of all time, and I own a bunch of them, and I will probably buy a bunch more.
There's one right there for you.
No, I'm not buying that one. I've been inside that guitar.
Never. Sounds.
But all of the things that are the flaws, that the perceived flaws of a Les Paul, are addressed with that ESP Eclipse.
Well, that's cool. I mean, speaking of ESP and Les Pauls, we might as well get into it with Kirk Hammett, because right now ESP's some of their biggest guys on ESP. Your biggest guy arguably was Kirk Hammett as an ESP endorser. Probably second would be George Lynch, I would imagine.
By the way, just to address one more issue with this, Metallic A says it's subjective. I will tell you what, I will put the entire history of ESP guitars versus the entire history of Gibson guitars, quality control wise, and I guarantee you, quality control, ESP is higher.
Oh, that's not fair.
It is fair.
That was recent.
Fair.
They're really two different animals. They're really two different animals.
No, they are two different animals. But my point is, when you sit there and you're going to start talking about subjective, which is better, all of the issues that the Les Paul had have been addressed, and there are no quality control issues with the ESP Eclipse. That's the point I'm trying to make, is from a stability and a quality standpoint, the ESP Eclipse is a better guitar overall because the Les Paul has been so haphazard and so inconsistent. I love them. They're my favorite guitar, but let's not ignore the reality. The reality is there are many Les Pauls where the quality control, the build, and the components used in it, plus the stability of the neck and all the issues with it, are substandard. That's a fact. I just say Norlin.
Oh, but you know what? Here's the trick about Norlin guitars. And for those of you that don't know Norlin Les Pauls, that's when they built from 1968 to 1986 when Gibson got the company back. So that period of years that was owned by Norlin Corporation, the quality is totally hit or miss. They're really heavy guitars for the most part. There are some real gems in there, but you have to do a lot of digging to find them. But with that said, Norlin year guitars played by Ace Frehley, Randy Rhoads. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on.
Make no mistake about it. That ESP Eclipse doesn't exist without the Les Paul guitar. And if you get a good Les Paul, it's the greatest guitar you'll ever play.
Sure.
It's the greatest guitar. And to me, it's the greatest guitar ever built.
I think mistake. Most people will agree with you between that or the Fender Strat. I mean,
there's everything else is a variation of the two. The Les Paul and the Fender Strat. I mean, the Fender Strat is the improvement on the Telecaster. And when Leo made his refinement of it, he created the perfect guitar. The Strat is, for what it is, the perfect guitar. And then Ibanez improved it with the Gem. They are the only guys that have made a guitar that makes a noticeable, marked improvement on the Strat. The Ibanez Gem redefined the Stratocaster and really perfected the Super Strat. Even though Eddie Van Halen introduced it and Grover Jackson and Wayne Charvel were building them, Ibanez, when Steve Vai helped design the Gem in 1986, changed the game. Same thing with ESP. ESP, when they put together the Eclipse, changed the game. And that's good. When you can make an improvement on an existing product. That said, I still prefer the Les Paul. It's the best guitar I've ever played, and I love them.
But hold on, going back a step, I think you skipped a major in between there because, I mean, you had the Fender Strat, and of course the Gem is probably one of the best Super Strats, if not the best Super Strat ever made. With that said, you need that first Super Strat there. You need to acknowledge the Charvel or the Kramer Beretta,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
you know, pick your favorite, because basically what a Super Strat did, it took the comfort of a Strat body and added things like a Floyd Rose and a humbucker. That humbucker is really what people like about a Les Paul that they don't like about a Fender Strat. A Fender Strat is great for clean tones, but if you want distortion, if you want like a heavy rocking thick tone, that's a Les Paul. That's why you get a Les Paul.
Yeah, well,
for those humbuckers with this much wood around it.
Who invented the humbucker? Seth Lover. And why did he invent the humbucker? Because Stratocasters fed back at high volumes.
Yeah, and well, look, with that said, putting it in a Strat body is really what gave us that middle, you know, for us 80s guys, that was the ultimate thing. You know, for someone like Eddie, you're playing with, hey, John BL, you're playing with, you know, that comfort of a Strat body without the bulkiness or weight of a Les Paul, but with that thick tone of a humbucker. And the whammy bar. The Floyd Rose changed the game too.
Yes. And the company that took all of those things and perfected it. I don't believe there were certain advances. You have all these advances that have happened and improvements that have happened. Obviously, when Eddie slapped a humbucker in a Strat, that was an improvement. Then
Right.
Charvel and ESP and BC Rich and all of those companies, Jackson, made their version of it. That was an improvement. Then Ibanez created the RG
and the Floyd.
Then the RG 550 was an improvement. Then the Gem was an improvement. There hasn't been a noticeable improvement in guitar designer technology since the Gem.
You could argue that the Eddie Van Halen, Ernie Balls, because some people really like the necks on those and the feel on those. I just see it as a different style more than an improvement over the Gem.
That's my point. But
it's open, but
Johnny you can't hear Johnny.
Johnny?
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, that's the route I went. The
Johnny's like,
yeah. Is there a noticeable improvement in guitar technology? Throw it out in the chat. I mean, the Parker Fly didn't work. It came and went.
I thought that was hideous.
Yeah,
I wanted one.
Very light to play, but I thought it was the ugliest fucking guitar, like one of the ugliest ever made. Certainly of the time, the ugliest.
There hasn't been a guitar that has improved upon what the Gem has done.
For Strats.
For the Super Strat, yeah.
Yeah.
For a rock electric guitar.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you have something in the chat, let's see it, because I'm curious.
Well, Vimp69 says, what about Paul Reed Smith? Paul Reed Smith guitars are a variation off the Les Paul.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, they're great guitars, but there's nothing new there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love a Les Paul for its tone, but I have to admit, they're very, very temperamental for me to love. I have only this many Les Pauls in my collection, and it's because all the ones I play, I don't bond with. When I find one I bond with, I jump on it because it's so rare.
Yep, and you hear about the good wood years and certain models are better than other ones, and that's true. But that's true with anything. Any year car, if you're a car guy, or your whatever your favorite collectible of the moment is, there are certain years that are superior and certain runs that are better and certain factories that are better. When we talk about Asian guitars, there's Yamaha, Hoshino, and Fujigen. Those are the three sort of big Japanese guitar makers that everybody knows are the quality ones. There are another dozen or so that are very good, but the three that we know are the three that we know. And that's the same thing with Fender and Gibson. Paul Reed Smith is a great guitar builder, but he's not doing anything that Gibson can't do. He's just doing it in smaller numbers and more boutique.
I always thought the Paul Reed Smith was like a more for looks type of guitar.
They're beautiful woods and they're really nice, but Paul is
right. And the tops are fantastic.
They're fantastic quilted maple. I have to totally give them the figure.
They're beautiful guitars.
I still can't bond with one. I've never to this day played a Paul Reed Smith that I've enjoyed. I just can't.
By
You
the
know, maybe
way,
it's just me.
and by the way, the common thread, Ted McCarty. Ted McCarty is the guy that invented the Les Paul, designed the Les Paul, and then left and hooked up with Paul Reed Smith. Ted McCarty is the reason why those guitars are as good as they are.
And again, just because they're good doesn't mean an individual bonds with them. You like what you like,
Right?
You know, I more bond with a Super Strat. I mean, that right there behind me, that BC Rich Gunslinger, that to me is like one of my favorite types of Super Strats. You know, a thin, fast maple neck that the dirtier it gets, the better it plays. And then looking in the chat, let's see some interesting perspectives. Music Therapy Labs brings up the 7-string multi-scale. I have to agree with that, actually.
Yeah, but that's a thing that's been around for a while, and it's still only experienced limited success. There isn't anything that a 7-string offers you that you can't get with a 6-string and a D-Tuna or a hip shot. So
I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that, because all the black metal guys, the death metal guys, I mean, everyone that tunes down basically loves those 7-strings. I mean, Jay Hannon, if you're in the chat, just comment on that. Give us your thoughts, because I know you play 7. Great Jay Hannon of the band Gizmachi. Tomorrow on Metal Wednesdays with Boner Jams. Let's see. Also, David Shea Gormley brings up the Strandberg. I'm not a fan of those headless guitars. I'm just not. I think that's a step back.
Well, I think Steinberger tried it, limited success, and it went away. Remember, it all comes back to, it's still all going to come back to 3 basic designs: Telecaster, Stratocaster, Les Paul. Those Leo Fender and Ted McCarty and Les Paul got it right in the beginning. They got it right. It's rare that the first issues of something are the zenith of what you can do with it, and then everything else is colors, different lights, different flash, different, but the essence of those guitars is those 3. The Ernie Ball Music Man is a Telecaster with Gibson pickups in it. The Gem is a Stratocaster with two Hummers and a single with those coil taps in there, so that you can get every conceivable tone that you're looking for in a guitar. You can get out of a Super Strat, a well-wired Super Strat. But they got it right the first time in 1948 and 1952, respectively. Leo Fender, Ted McCarty, and Les Paul perfected how to build a guitar.
No, I agree. We've been working off of those variations ever since. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got.
And by the way, I didn't see it, but I'll credit James Stewart if he had already said that. I totally get it. We know. I mean, the Fender Broadcaster was the first solid body guitar. It was great, 1948, and of course, I think it was Gretsch owned the term, the trademark for Broadcaster, so it had to be changed to Telecaster.
Blacktooth Fox says, to be honest, I never met a guitar I didn't love. Hey, man, I've got a lot of crap to sell you.
Again, I'll give you a great example of a guitar that I didn't love. I didn't love the Frankenstrat. Didn't love it. It's a great playing.
Man.
It's a great playing guitar, but I didn't love it. It doesn't feel as good as a Gem. Doesn't feel as good as that ESP. Doesn't feel as good as some of my Les Pauls. It just doesn't. For me, it didn't feel good.
It's a different animal. I think I liked it. I liked it the best out of all the Eddie Van Halen line. I thought it was the most feeling that like it was played in. I thought they did a great job relegating it. And at the price point. At the price point, I think it was a really great replica. But the neck was the key to that for me, because when I felt that, it felt broken in. And by the way, everyone in the chat,
I feel that way about the Ernie Ball Music Man's felt that way to me.
Everyone in the chat, take a second, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. And if you're not enjoying the show, hit the like button as well. Thank you.
What is it? Hit the like button. If you don't like,
if you're enjoying the show, hit the like button.
Hit either of them, because Google Analytics doesn't care which you snap. As long as you're reacting, they don't care.
Yeah.
And if you
sorry, secret's out.
If you want to leave a thumbs down, hit it twice.
Sure. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
If you want to leave a thumbs down, leave 2 of them.
As long as you're interacting, YouTube is happy.
Yeah. While you hit the thumbs up, use your at-home David Crosby voodoo doll to smash that like button. Oh, fuck.
Grr.
Meh.
Meh.
Meh. Show is meh. All those guitars are meh.
Yes, Michael.
I like
give us
the
a
Parker
give us
Fly.
100 thumbs down.
I like the Parker Fly myself. That was a brilliant innovation. The Parker Fly.
I liked it.
The Parker Fly.
Ah.
I think what Parker Fly was a better version of what Kolos is doing now. Kolos is making these carbon fiber guitars. They're not very good, and I'll tell you why. It's the same reason why the aluminum necked Kramers are not very good, and that is temperature stability. If you've got a carbon fiber guitar, all right, and you tune it up, everything is tuned up and everything. And Phil McKnight actually did a video on this and shows you how it's done. If you want to sometime check out Phil McKnight's video on this, but you've got a carbon fiber guitar, just like if you have, I had an old Kramer Duke bass, which had the aluminum neck with the ebonol fretboard. Now, ebonol is a compound that they use to make bowling balls. It's kind of like Richlight. It's because you couldn't put real wood and get it to bond to the aluminum neck and have it work right. So you tune up this guitar, you put it on the guitar stand under hot stage lights, you pick it up, it's out of tune. Because carbon fiber reacts to temperature to the point where the guitar is now going to go flat. So you tune it up again. Now you start playing it. Now your hands are on the neck. You've got body heat combined with light stage lights. Guitar's out of tune again. And I think that was sort of the issue with Parker as well. Good-looking guitar players, good-looking guitars, light as hell, but
There are no good-looking guitar players.
there are no good-looking guitar players.
That's why we play guitar. Because we love vagina and hate money.
But David Shea Gomery, yes, a Gretsch White Falcon would be a fucking awesome guitar. I can't afford one. That's such a great. I don't own a hollow body or a semi-hollow guitar, but man, the Gretsch White Falcon between Brian Setzer and Billy Duffy, that's the guitar. If I was going to ever own one of those guitars, that's the one, the White Falcon. What a great guitar.
See,
I also don't have
I hate semi-hollow bodies. I don't like anything hollow.
Yeah, but there's that. If you're going to play that rockabilly sound, there's a roundness.
You need it. Yeah,
fullness.
you need it.
Yeah, there's a fullness that you get, a jazzy rockabilly sound that you can get from a semi-hollow or a hollow body that you just can't get from a solid body.
Wait, is that actually Dane?
Yes. Dane shipped one of those. He actually had, I told you, he hired somebody to do this. He shipped one of those Kolos
colostomy
guitar
bags.
The Kolos build a guitar. It was a cool package. It's a cool kit where you can build a guitar.
Never a ship.
Never a ship. The Line 6 Variax guitars. You got to have the Line 6 floor unit to work with it. It's limited. And I don't think that anybody has gone nuts on them.
Lenny Lou wants to know if they're going to relic the guitar with the famous Mancuda cum. I'm sorry, famous Mancuda gum.
Gum.
I
yes.
see, gum. Yeah, they actually pay me to chew a piece 15 times, then spit it out, move on. It's like a little I Love Lucy assembly line. I work that. I get 15 cents per gum.
Oh, I know what she's talking about.
And John Biel, that's the difference between Kolos and Parker Fly. But I think Parker Fly came too soon.
John Biel, hey man.
I think
John
the Parker Fly was an idea that was too soon and we weren't ready for it.
But with anything,
I'm still not ready.
With the guitar, with the Parker Fly, it's more about the sound.
I thought
more about the tune.
I thought the Parker Fly had a ring similar to Rickenbacker. Thought it had a ring. It had a bell-like ring to it. It had great
cock ring. That thing was a piece of garbage.
It had great glassy notes. Like if you're like, you know how that when Steve Vai is playing clean and he's that real glassy, very chorus.
Is that the gassy note you're referring to?
But the Parker Fly came too soon, I think.
Didn't make me come too soon.
Giggity.
I always thought that it was just basically really light, which it was.
Oh, but sure. And I was always afraid of that headstock. I mean, the headstock was so small. It was like, it was so weird looking.
Shaped. It was just ugly shaped too. There was no flow. It was like it was rounded. Then you had like just a fucking big dick sticking out, like a squared off dick. And it's like, at least with a BC Rich Mockingbird, you have curves and hooks, and you have a horn there, but it's sexy and good looking. This thing was just like you fucking stuck a Lego on the end of it. It was just terrible looking.
I thought that there was a Fender guitar that had a very similar look to the Parker
Look at that
Fly.
ugly thing. Look at that ugly thing.
There was a Fender that had a look similar to that too, that came out in the 80s. If you look in the Fender book by Tony Bacon, Fender made a guitar that looks similar. But look at how small that headstock is. That scares me with the amount of string tension on that. I mean, it's obviously carbon fiber, so it's going to be strong, but it's still scary. And I think I saw Stanley Jordan playing one of those. I think he was one of the first guys I ever saw playing one.
I love that. Lenny Lou brings up this is the gum joke, guys. The gum on the Frankie, on the Nam Frankie, what it was, I forgot who was playing it, or maybe I was playing it, or someone else was playing it. You were playing it. Okay. I basically took the gum out of my mouth. I stretched it and put it on the Frankenstrat while it was still connected to my mouth, like a little gum bridge leading from my mouth to Johnny playing the Frankenstrat. And then I just kind of sucked it back in. And, it was pointed out to me, hey, man, Cootie, like 100,000 dirty hands touched that guitar. And like half of those didn't wash their hands probably after peeing. And
no wonder you got so
sick. This is why I got Namthrax
like
so quick, because I invite germs into my mouth like that. I met Alanier. Steve I does not have 2,000 guitars. Steve's like, I do?
Rick Nielsen might, though.
Rick Nielsen has a big chunk for sure.
He has a massive guitar collection.
Big collection.
And what's interesting is I saw there was somebody posted a picture of Yngwie, because Yngwie's got a new album out and he's talking shit because that's what Yngwie does.
It's the best I've ever done.
Yes, I know.
No, really, Paulie, it is the best.
It's always, I'm the best. I'm always the best. I'm the best. And I don't practice and I don't sing and I don't do. Anyway, point being, Yngwie has a room full of cream or off cream, Olympic white, whatever you want to call, Strats. They're all Yngwie Malmsteen signatures. They're all the same guitar with the same pickups and the same scallop neck. He just has them because they give them to him. He's got so many friggin' guitars. And they're all the same guitar. Like, I understand having a big guitar collection and having different models. I understand. But Mancuda doesn't have the same guitar. He doesn't have 200 gunslingers with a pink and black motif and a reversed headstock, maple neck. He doesn't have 200 of them.
No, but Paulie means the same design. They don't all look like that one. I have about 70 gunslingers, but they don't all look like that. They're all different patterns.
But they're different though. They're
all different.
They have different pickups in them, and they have different neck profiles. And some of them have Taylors, and some of them have Floyds, and some of them. I mean, it's like, it's okay to have.
There's reasons I have variations. Yeah.
I don't know that I own, I don't know, 12 or 13 Les Pauls, and I don't know that any of them have the same pickup configuration in them, with the exception of the Ace Frehley signatures. But they're two different Ace Frehley signatures. So one of them has the 3 DiMarzio super distortions in it, but it's a different body shape. It's got a different neck profile, different neck material, different inlays. But I don't know that I have any Les Pauls that have, Burstbucker 1, Burstbucker 2. I don't have 2 that have the same pickup configuration. And if they have similar pickups in them, they're a different body style, different neck profile. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to own multiple guitars of the same type, have different flavors.
And speaking of flavors, let's give a shout out to our buddy Nerd Halen, Caleb Rappaport in the chat right now.
I've put up every video clip I can from the show the other night. It's good to see you back working.
And they were good. They were really good.
Hal growing the hair out.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a clip on or if that was real.
No, that was real.
That's Hal's real hair now? Yeah,
Good for
Hal.
If you watch him on his shows, his hair is like down to here.
Okay.
Good for him.
No, they put on a great show the other night.
I think Hal is one of the coolest guys out there. He couldn't be a nicer guy. He's super smart, super talented. I'm a big fan. When I found out that he and Caleb were playing together, I was like, 2 good people working together. That's always good. You always root for people like that.
Yeah, I was actually home, Caleb, but I did see the show on video that you posted.
Yeah, thanks for putting him on the list. He was going to call you and ask to go on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, because I got to the door and they're
They
like,
wouldn't
yeah,
let
that's
him in.
$20. I'm like, $20? What?
Mancuda was at the back entrance waiting the entire time.
I thought, yeah, Caleb didn't want me in the show because he's like, yeah, go meet me at the emergency exit door. I'll let you in when we go on. And I'm like, I hear music. Is that them?
He was at the back door. Actually, he was across the street at Kinko's having his new business card up that said John Mancuda, out of work actor / Nerd Halen fluffer.
I was gonna slide it under the door to get in and see if they would let me in. Oh, fluffer. Oh, all right, come on in.
Yes, that should be the name of the Nerd Halen album, Backdoor Mancuda.
Which is also my hobby. That's my business name, Backdoor Mancuda.
That's what he checks into hotels under. Okay, can you tell me what room Backdoor Mancuda's in? Dumpster, back of the building.
A glory hole in the men's room, right across from the janitor closet.
Wow, I think that'd be another great name for a band, Mancuda's Glory Hole.
Mancuda's bloody stump.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi, Ellie.
Yeah, no, but I heard the videos. I saw the videos you put up, and they were really terrific. You're an amazing guitarist, Caleb. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. But I do want my check in the mail. Just saying. No, really, seriously. If you get a chance, now that Nerd Halen is back playing live shows, to all those vaccinated and taking care, you should go check them out. You really should.
I like one of the things that I like about when Caleb is playing, and he does the same thing that Eddie Van Halen did. And I don't mean from a technical standpoint, although your technical acumen is unquestioned, but it's the look of surprise when he plays something like he didn't know he was going to do it.
Like, oh my God, are you guys?
Oh my God! Look what I just pulled off.
Do you hear what I'm doing?
I always love that when he's playing. He's like,
no, he's got Eddie down. He really does. He really does. Because he's doing the faces, but
Eddie did the same thing.
He's doing the right jumps. He's always smiling.
No.
He's having fun up there.
No, but I think that's the little thing. Like, it's the one thing to be able to do Christopher Walken's voice. It's another to get the pauses in, that kind of the little nuances to be able to do those things. And the tapping is cool with the knowing grin. There's that. And I think those are the things that I'm like, who lets Stork from Animal House play a guitar? It's so good. He does such a good job on it. And I'm proud to call him a friend, man. He's probably he's one of the top 2 guitar players I know. The other one being Josh Jones. Josh Jones is a phenomenal guitar player.
Is also, really.
Yeah. I mean, they're both worlds ahead of anybody that I know. And I know some people that are in major signed bands, and both of those guys play better than they do.
Yeah, well, the thing about Josh is Josh plays very fast and very, very, very flowing. Caleb has the show down too.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Caleb, because he's doing Eddie. He's really doing Eddie. Like in character, he's got Eddie down, and God bless him.
No, it's great, and that's the fun part about it.
Yeah, Eric, the number 1 Van Halen host. Listen, brother. I know it sounds we're sucking up to Caleb, but the fact is, if you see him, I highly recommend you go see Nerd Halen. If you do see them, you'll see what we're talking about. It's not because he's our friend. It's not because he's on the channel. Guys got literal talent, man. Like, legit.
If you can play, you can play. There's an it. There's an it that people have. Nuno has it. Paul Gilbert has it. I think Caleb, have timing been a little bit different in the 80s?
Oh my God, that
could be a guy that we talk about in that way.
You forgot to mention my name has it as well.
No, Johnny, you don't have it.
Johnny, you don't have it. I'm sorry.
Johnny, you are the only guy who's ever worked with Desmond Child that's failed.
Oh.
Well,
Tuesdays.
Johnny's job with Desmond was, do you want more eggs?
Oh, Jesus. That was back when Johnny was known as Johnny Kalen.
Make your sheets, Desmond. Make your sheets.
Yeah, Eric, the number one Van Halen host, doesn't like Nerd Halen because they weren't musicians back in the 90s, where we were out there playing.
I think he just hasn't seen them. I think he just hasn't seen them.
No, Eric, you know what? It's because the Canadians, they only the transfer rate, the exchange rate in Canada is we only have 65% of the talent of American guitar players. So,
even Sebastian Bach left Canada for a reason,
this break, which takes us back to Killer Dwarfs. As good as they are, nobody fucking cares. Right, Eric?
God.
Sebastian Bach is like, okay, I could get lumped in with this Canadian shit, or I can move to New Jersey.
Even Bryan Adams relocated. He's like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah, they get out. They get out of there.
Yeah. And God bless.
Hey, okay, I can have universal health care or a successful music career. With a successful music career, I can afford universal health care.
And I'll get laid. Yeah. Healthcare doesn't get me laid.
I mean, let's be honest. When's the last time a Canadian team won the championship in a sport they invented?
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
North Mexico.
Wow, for whatever, why did we just start shitting on Canada? Blame Canada. Blame.
Because they come after me at some point.
Can I finish, buddy?
All of Canada?
Can I finish?
Everybody Canadian that I know comes. They turn their back on me at some
There's
point.
a march against
there's
Johnny
a
Beane
history.
today. At
There's
the
a
You know what?
history of that.
But Johnny, they're all sorry.
Look, Johnny, we're okay, eh?
Johnny, are we cool? Yeah, we're cool, eh? Right?
You know what? Mark Dillon brings up the one saving grace Canada has, aside from Amanda and Ben Coombs. Bynum custom.
Now whose nose is brown?
Well, hold on. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm gonna come out like Augustus, like Augustus dipped his head in the chocolate river. Hold on a second.
Here it comes. By the way, if you're looking for Canadian pickups that you'll never put in a guitar, Bynum Pickups offers a great selection. Eh?
The beautiful thing about Bynum custom pickups
Is they last forever.
Proudly made in Canada is they're used in American and European and Asian music.
Just not John Mancuda music.
Not Canadian music, but everywhere else where good music is made, you want Bynum custom pickups. Proudly made where they build good things in Canada, but a lot of them can't play in Canada.
Check
out Bynum custom pickups.
Those
Go to their
pickups
website.
They're going to last generations because he's never going to put them in a guitar.
That's right. I actually have 3 sets of other ones. These are the ones I'm saving for that project that I told you about.
Yeah, but here's the great part about it is by the time you put those guitars, those pickups in a guitar, the magnets are going to be gone. You're going to be fucking dead.
These are made so solid. If you want custom pickups and you want to hot rod your tone, go to Bynum Custom Pickups website. Tell Craig Bynum I sent you, and he will make you exactly the tone you want. You want Les Paul tones? Holy shit. Craig Bynum will do everything to get your Les Paul sounding like a real 59, not the shit that Gibson says, oh, we're making them just like a 59. They interviewed Kirk Hammett the other day, and holy shit, was Kirk sucking their dick. He was like,
of course he was, because there's a big check attached.
Yeah, there's a huge check because they're talking about Greenie, right? They're talking about Greenie, and
by the way,
Kirk, they're telling Kirk, how's Greenie? How's Greenie? And then he's telling about Greenie, and they're like, well, Kirk, how does Greenie compare to that Les Paul Jr. we sent you recently? Oh, you guys nailed the tone. I mean, it's just as good as Greenie. It's like,
wait until the fall NAMM show. Wait until Winter NAMM when Gibson introduces the Peter Green Kirk Hammett signature model.
The Peter Griffin Kirk Hammett signature model. That'd be funny. A Les Paul shaped like Peter. That would be awesome, like custom painted, like Peter Griffin. I'm gonna have that done. I'm gonna have someone do that. I want to have that done. Seriously, I want to have that done. That would be awesome. A Peter Griffin painted Les Paul.
You know, you and I both know the only reason why Gibson is signing Kirk Hammett to that deal is to get Greenie into their R&D department, map that fucker out, and put out their limited edition. Their limited edition, one of only 5,000 for 25,000 a piece, because they figured out when Fender put out the Frankenstrat, the replica Frankenstrat, and sold them out. They're like, ooh, limited guitars, eh?
Limited guitar you have.
A fortune you will pay.
Kirk Hammett's dick you will suck.
They paid for access. They paid to rent that guitar.
Yeah. Could you imagine being the guy, being like Matt at ESP right now, the president of ESP, and you get the call? Yeah, Mac, this is Kirk Hammett. Kirk, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, listen, great news. We're selling a lot of your replicas. Yeah, about that, Matt. I'm leaving ESP. I understand what you're saying. You're going on tour. No, Matt. I'm literally leaving ESP for Gibson. I'm sorry, Kirk. I got a bad line. I thought you said you're leaving ESP. Yeah, I am leaving ESP.
Yeah, and by the way, Bozique, yes, they did get a copy of it when Gary Moore owned the guitar, but that was under different ownership.
And not with today's technology.
And not with today's technology, yeah. That was under different ownership. That was a different business model, and the boutique signature guitar world is significantly different today than it was then. For example, there's a guy on Craigslist here in Arizona that is selling one of the Jimmy Page signature Les Pauls from 1997. And all of the cool features of the Jimmy Page 1997 signature Les Paul are standard features of the 2021 Gibson Les Paul Classic. So if you're going to pay $5,000 just because it has Jimmy Page's name scribbled on the pick guard and the satin shroud that comes in it, have at it. But the reality is that guitar, the difference between that Jimmy Page guitar from 1997 and the guitar that you can buy right now at any local guitar store that carries Gibson classics, it's the same fucking guitar.
Those are all standard features on all Epiphones now.
Yes, they are. They are. Like you've got four. Like everybody's like, well, the Jimmy Page signature has an out of phase and a 10 dB boost, and you can coil tap and you can coil tap the pickups, and you can do all the things. There are 21 different configurations that you can do with this amazing Jimmy Page guitar. Yeah, I can pay $900 to Epiphone and get the same guitar.
Get a used one for $700.
The world of signature guitars that's why Fender released the Frankenstrat, because the Frankenstrat offers something that doesn't get made, that isn't offered in today's world. All of the great advances, all of the great cool coil tapping and out of phase things that Peter Green did and Gary Moore did and Yngwie Malmsteen did, and the scallop necks that used to be a thing that only Richie Blackmore and Yngwie Malmsteen had. Now everybody has it. Now everybody does it. So the novelty of it and the value of it has diminished greatly. So what they want to do is they want to get a more accurate version of that Peter Green guitar so that they can say, hey, we've mapped this thing to exact specifications, and we're going to charge you $7,500 for it.
At least.
Yeah.
My guess is even more. Or there's got to be variations. There's got to be an Epiphone version. They got to do what they did with Slash. They're going to come out with a line of Kirk Hammett guitars. So you're going to have like his first black round horn V from the 70s. You're going to have Greenie. They'll find some other things and make it Kirk's own. And there'll be Epiphone versions and Gibson versions, and then limited high-end Gibson versions that they only did like 1,000 of, 2,000, 5,000, whatever.
I'd be more interested in a Gibson James Hetfield Explorer than I am in a Gibson Kirk Hammett Les Paul. I think that the James Hetfield's Explorer, that sound that you got from that Explorer, that amazing crunch that an Explorer gives you, that a Les Paul doesn't have that same crunch because of the mahogany and maple combination. It's a different thing. It's not quite as raw. An Explorer and an SG have a more raw sound than a Les Paul because they don't have the maple cap on them. And because an Explorer has so much more wood, it resonates differently.
Oh, you said wood. I could just see Paul's going to his Ouija board guitar and he's like, should I, Spirits, take the Gibson deal for more money? Yes. Okay.
The answer is always yes.
Yes. So wait a second. Someone in the chat, David Shea Gormley, says he didn't have to leave ESP. Is that true? Is he still also at ESP?
I think he still has a deal. I think ESP because I think he might have a deal with ESP Japan, and because it's a non-domestic product, I think he can stay with it. Whereas BC Rich is an American company.
Well, Gibson, you mean?
No. When they were talking about Slash couldn't stay with BC Rich when he signed the exclusive deal with Gibson. But Slash's deal is different.
Slash isn't with BC Rich.
No, but he was at one point. He can't play BC Rich's anymore as an endorsee.
Okay, but he was never an endorsee for BC Rich. This is what I'm saying.
He was almost an owner.
He was almost an owner. Yes, because he likes the company. He's never been an endorsee for BC Rich. He's always had custom bitches built for him by BC Rich because he wants to play. Where's my bitches?
Here's the thing.
Because he likes the guitars. He likes those guitars, but he's not endorsed by them. It ever was.
And one of the things about the difference between the Slash and the Kirk Hammett deal, if we're going to get into the weeds of it,
why is John BL on the screen?
Is Slash was signed because Slash was signed to be a brand ambassador. In other words, his job is to endorse and promote Gibson guitars exclusively, whereas Kirk Hammett is not that. Kirk Hammett has an endorsement deal. There's a difference between the two deals. Slash, for all intents and purposes, is now on the board of advisors for Gibson guitars, whereas Kirk Hammett is an endorsee. Technically, Kirk Hammett works underneath Slash. Slash is a guy that's
how we got that deal. Is that how we got that deal?
Slash is a creative consultant.
You're gonna be the bottom, man. I'm gonna pull your hair a little. You're gonna be the bottom.
But Slash is the deal that Slash cut is that he is exclusive to Gibson, and it's his job to be a brand ambassador, kind of like when somebody signs a deal with Jordan, with Michael Jordan. You wear Nike gear, you wear the Jumpman 23 logo on all of your gear. That's what Slash has done. He is now, from a corporate business perspective, owned by Gibson.
But what about Hammett? Is he still with ESP as well?
I think he still has an endorsement deal. The question is, I think his endorsement deal runs until it expires, however many years that might be. And I think Gibson is going to honor that. And then I think when that deal expires, he becomes exclusive to Gibson.
I haven't heard
I haven't
heard the words endorsement so much since what's his name.
Well, when you get an endorsement deal, you have to mention it a certain amount of times there in Canada.
Oh, it was freaking nonstop.
I'm not sure you know about this, but there's a Canadian content rule where Canadians have to mention that they're owned and bought for and paid for by certain companies. So I'm really sorry I have to do it, but I have to do it. And James, by the way, James's ESP guitars are fantastic too. The Iron Cross is a great guitar. His Explorer is great. I wish ESP still made the old Strat headstock guitars. I loved those.
By the way, I've just got to dive in here because Jay Hannon brought up a great point. It's Tuesday, and Johnny is still wearing that same neck mask for 3 straight days. Johnny, have you been showering with that thing on? Or
no?
Gross.
No.
I mean, look, I'm the first person to jump on board and say, just please wear a mask. Everybody wear a fucking mask. I want to get through this fucking pandemic. Wear the damn mask.
You're not going to have a choice at some point.
But when you get home, take the fucking thing off and put it on the table. Don't shower with it. Don't sleep with it. Johnny's having sex with the mask on. Superhero fantasy with his wife. I mean, look at this.
No. It's not like those other ones.
You know you have grease in that beard of yours. That's a filthy. Your beard that's pubic hair on your face. Is what that
All
is.
the food
You might as well
fell-
just take it and wipe it in your
Oh.
merkin.
all the food that fell out of Johnny's beard the other day, the crumbs from that sandwich are trapped in that neck.
No!
scarf.
Oh, that sandwich was amazing.
Let's
No,
see.
no, but
Looking-
it becomes an accessory. You know.
so does a Chihuahua.
I mean, look at you. You wear that scarf all day.
No,
Do
this is a trademark for
Do
me.
you
I
wear that as a mask when you go out, though? Do you put it over your
No,
face?
I have an N95. I'm not fucking around with this virus. I'm fully vaccinated, which all of you out there should be,
And
I
yet
wear
still
the mask.
disease riddled.
Ah!
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. Listen, these crabs are gonna die of COVID on their own. I'm not making them tiny little masks. No, but you know what I'm saying. Look, I'm all about supporting masks because this is not a political issue. It's a health crisis. I want to get through this fucking pandemic already. So please wear your mask, get your vaccinations, end of story. But also, when you get home, take it off.
Technically, I did take it off.
Take it off.
I go out like this, and come back like that.
Take it off, pretty baby.
Does anybody else in the chat? Does anybody else wear this style?
I do actually. I have. It's called a gator.
Yeah.
And I've got them from. There's
The reason Paul's not wearing it is because it's 100 degrees where he is.
it's 108
Well,
degrees
he's also
here today.
isolated at home.
For
right?
me, it's 60 degrees out, so this actually keeps me warm.
It's 108 degrees here in Phoenix. Thank you for asking. And I do an endorsement. I have an endorsement deal.
that word again.
You're welcome. With a law firm here in town. It's actually a national law firm called Law Tigers. So I wear the Law Tigers gator. It's got their logo on it and shit. Yeah, I'm complete corporate whore.
Yeah, let me explain something to the audience, okay? This is how we make a living.
No,
Okay.
Johnny's not paying us.
No, I'm saying this, not this. This is not how we make endorsements. Okay.
Yeah.
This is how we get paid from companies saying, "Hey man, Kuda, can you mention Swiss picks upside down, Johnny? Upside down.
Flip it around. Flip
It's
it around.
upside down.
Flip it around,
It's
Johnny.
upside
Flip it around.
down.
There-
You're
there.
fucking
Nope,
up my
nope,
pay.
nope,
Oh my
nope,
god,
there
my
you go.
paycheck. There it goes. Swiss picks, the greatest picks you can't see when Johnny's holding the sign. The greatest gripping picks. See, that's an endorsement. These guys are paying the cash because they know we get these into people's hands. They try them. They're going to keep using them. Swiss picks, the greatest grip you will ever see. It's like that scene in Wayne's World where he's like, I don't whore out, but he's eating Doritos and
Mhm.
drinking Coca-Cola or Bang energy drink or, but that's the idea. Yeah, we
Canteen.
absolutely sell out. We always hear, oh man, you guys sold out. Yes, we're here for money. We sell out. Yes, we do. Yes.
I'm talking to you right now through a Tascam mixer, and that's the truth.
I will tattoo Johnny Beane's logo on my anus where it is seen every Saturday night at the truck stop by hundreds of people for $20. So yes, this space for sale. Absolutely. Put in your bids now, folks.
Sorry.
We are fully for rent.
Sorry, that's business, man.
That's
business.
absolutely
I don't
That's
get
smart.
I
business.
trade a certain amount of my personal integrity for a salary.
You
Fact.
bet.
Fact. Don't
You
care.
bet.
Don't care. Love what I do. Don't do it for free, except on
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah, because we got bills. And those bills get paid from things like endorsements and neck products and all the shit Johnny wears, all that stuff.
No, by the way, there's nothing wrong with it. You do the same
No.
thing. Every job you go to is a trade-off. You trade a certain amount of your integrity and personal freedom for a paycheck, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody gives a plumber a hard time. If a plumber's making $75,000 a year, nobody's like, oh my God, he's sold out to Roto-Rooter. What an asshole. Or, you go and you drive a truck for Walmart, and truck drivers for Walmart can make well over $100,000 a year. So you go, oh my God, I can't believe you're driving a truck for Walmart. Yeah, because they're paying me 6 goddamn figures.
You bet.
Yes. There's nothing. Oh boy, I can't believe that doctor went to go to Banner Medical Health Center. He's totally sold out. Yeah, he did. Everybody does. Everyone sells out. It's called a job.
Yeah, Mancuda, you're making a fool of yourself on TV. You come off like an idiot. Yeah, an idiot with a check.
Yes.
Ah!
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, integrity. By the way, I've talked about this before. It was funny because when I was in a band with one of our executive producers, Wayno, we were managed or represented. We were booked by a booking company called Music is Art. And I'm like, well, if it's art, why are we paying you to book us? If it's art, it should be appreciated, not bought and sold. It's business. If you want to release art, draw a picture and hand it out to the world for free. But if you want to buy music, and Gene Simmons taught me this when I dropped that, by the way. Gene Simmons taught me this when I was 20 years old. It's important that you love what you do. It's more important to be paid more than the next guy.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Do it. Have at it. Integrity is bought and sold. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. What did he say? What was his slogan?
I'm getting paid $1 million.
Every man has a price.
Absolutely.
We all have a price. We all have a price. All of us. Everyone. All of us.
Yeah, and for those that think we act like idiots for a paycheck and it's degrading, let me
As you wish, Metallic.
let me also announce to you guys, if you're in a cubicle and your boss drops a pile of papers on your desk and says, "You have these done by 3. Enjoy your cubicle while I go to the spa." Yeah, I'm getting degraded a lot less than being in a cubicle. So
it is what it is. Money is the lifeblood of society. Good luck trying to get around without it. You need it for everything. For everything.
Yeah, I like to pay my bills. So
yep. Everyone has a price. Johnny's price is whatever false flag can pay him to change his light color.
We're the same we're actually the same person.
So
now you're holding a grudge with somebody that you said to call you. You just let the grudges go, Johnny.
Johnny,
just
what
let
happened?
it go.
Now you're reigniting the fire.
Just
Johnny
let it go.
Beane started the fire.
We're the same person, though. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Why do you think you never see us both in the same place, same time? Every time I do this, that's when the light changes from false flag.
Suddenly false flag.
Johnny isn't false flag. Mancuda talks just like him. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, coming full circle, Kirk Hammett also sold out, and that's okay.
Yeah, good for him. Okay. Sure, more power to him.
And look, make no mistake, Gibson is going for the throat right now. They got Dave Mustaine first. They paid a fortune for him. You got to know that. And
it'll be great when they actually sign somebody who can play guitar.
Oh, that's terrible. But you know what? I'll tell you something. Megadeth, Dave Mustaine's been doing all these, videos and little clips,
cameos and stuff.
Little cameos.
His bass player was making videos too.
Yes, he was.
And he sold out also. He was making money by the stroke.
Oh.
No, but
hand over fist.
Come on, baby. Let's do the fist. Yeah. No, look, the fact is Gibson shelled out for him. So every video you see him start, "Hi, I'm Dave Mustaine," and he's putting away that new Gibson signature onto
product
the rack.
Placement, baby.
Yeah, I see that very crystal clear. And look, they're going to get their money's worth out of him because he's going to whore those guitars out, and they're cool-looking guitars.
Are you shitting
I love
me?
that green Gibson. I love that green V. I love it.
All you have to do, there are certain brands that are marketable. You say Slash, people will buy it. You say Metallica, people will buy it. You say Slipknot, people will buy it. There's a thing called brand equity, and Metallica has brand equity.
Absolutely.
And
huge.
Kirk Hammett, because he's in Metallica, has brand equity, and that's and great. More power to him. Am I jealous? Fuck yeah. I wish I had achieved a level of success that would allow me to cash in on a probably 7, maybe 8-figure deal to endorse Gibson guitars. Yup.
Oh, God,
jealous.
yeah.
Jealous.
Hell yeah.
Jealous. I wouldn't be living in this dump. I'd have a house in Marin, just like everybody in Metallica does, and be just fine.
Didn't Hetfield move away though?
I think he moved like up to Nebraska or some shit. Or Oklahoma.
Wasn't his neighbor? Him and his neighbors were fighting about something.
Yeah, I think
they're like, get off my lawn, wherever I may roam. Yeah. This is 3 a.m. by the way. No, but look, they paid through the nose for Kirk Hammett, you know it, and they're gonna pump Kirk Hammett edition guitars
Sure they are.
so much in your face.
Mostly
Yep.
Epiphones.
Probably
lot of Epiphones.
because here's the deal, Johnny, and you know this. If they make a Gibson signature model guitar for Kirk Hammett, the price point is going to be at least $3,500. All right, $3,499, whatever it is. All right, for a signature model guitar. If they and they'll sell, let's say they sell 2,000 of them. All right, but if they make a $900, an $899, or $1,100 Epiphone guitar, they're going to sell like 5,000 of them, 6,000 of them, 10,000 of them.
Every kid
know?
starting out on the guitar now,
Shit,
that's a Metallica
yeah.
fan wearing that shirt, playing whatever, dun, 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 playing that Guitar Center. They're going to want those guitars for Christmas.
When it's all said and done, the entry level
Jay?
guitar, market is significantly better than it was when we were kids. Entry level guitars are better made than they were when we started out playing.
Those
Fact.
damn Hollywood
Fact.
types.
Fact.
Yeah. Hetfield was up here, Jay. He was up in Marin. He was up
Yeah,
past the
Marin.
Golden Gate.
Yeah, there's
There
He
Jay
was
outside of
He was fighting with his neighbors for some reason. And what was that story?
the Beverly Hills of San Francisco is Marin. It's across the bay, and that's where all the rich people live. Sammy lives up there. All the Metallica guys live up there. If you've got money in Northern California, Marin County is where you live.
Ray Slick was up there.
Yeah, that's where and it's beautiful. By the way, it's where all of those car commercials, when you see like a BMW or a Volvo going along the edge of the highway and the ocean is off in the background, and it's this beautiful picturesque scene. That's Marin.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, I think Mr. Hetfield's in our backyard again. Get out of my yard, Hetfield! Back to the front!
James, go home. So let it be written. So let it be done.
I can see this happening every day. It's like, your vines are coming into my yard. Creeping death.
Bozique, still a $300 Squire now is a better guitar than a $200 Hondo was when we were coming up. Fact, they're better guitars. The CNC routing machines, the consistency, the electronics, even the electronics that are coming out of Indonesia or whatever tiny little Asian country where they are using sweat labor to build volume pots, they're still better and more consistent. The soldering, the technique, the manufacturing technique on an entry-level guitar is superior than when we were kids.
The children have gotten so much better at it now. They really have. They beat them more to produce better. So, jeez.
What's an entry-level guitar to me? I would say a Squire Affinity as an entry-level guitar. I would say any of those, First Act or any of those type things. I would say the 100, the early, the low series Ibanez, the Ibanez, the G10s or whatever the fuck they're called. There are Indonesian and Singapore and there's
Chinese,
Korean. There are guitars made now that are the most base level shit. I'll bring up the Guitar Center website.
Yeah.
I mean, ESPs are, Epiphones are made in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that they're bad guitars. They're not. The fact is, though, Gibson's an American brand with a certain standard. If you can't get to that level, you want something more on a budget, they have something close made out of the country. That's an Epiphone. So they're going to make, just like ESP did with LTD, they made Kirk Hammett versions of the ESP high-end stuff and then exact replicas of that in an LTD version.
Here,
you play them side by side, they feel different.
I would say anything less than $400 is an entry-level guitar. Would we agree?
I would say so, for sure.
All right, so anything less than $400 is, so you can get a Jackson Dinky JS32 for $299. You can get a Squire Affinity Telecaster for $249, an Epiphone Les Paul Studio for $249, a Jackson King B for $249, Squire Affinity for $229. I mean, you can Ibanez GRG 120B DXL left-handed for $229. You can get these guitars for less than $300. Schecter makes a guitar for less than $300. They make a Jackson Rhodes knockoff import for $269. A Jackson Kelly is $299. these are guitars that are fairly good guitars. Jackson Dinky guitars for $269. Sterling by Music Man. Their Cutlass, their version of the Cutlass, which is Music Man's Stratocaster, $299. So for $300, you're getting a way better guitar than the Hondos or the I don't know, what are the other stupid guitars that we had first? That was our first guitar.
Mine was a Fender.
Well, you could go in any pawn shop in Hollywood, and they're all hanging up there right now. There's
Memphis,
the Kramer Striker, and
Harley Benton. Yeah, Harley Benton makes a great guitar for cheap money.
You can get a Glary for under $100. For
Speaking of horrible fucking endorsement jobs,
wow,
look at
Johnny,
that.
there's a great endorsement right there.
Jesus
A
Christ.
Glary Telly you can get for $89.99.
Mitchell guitars you can get for $199. So yeah, I mean you can get a good budget guitar for less than $300, and it's going to be a better guitar than when we started out with Harmony,
less than $90.
Harmony, Harmony, Memphis, Hondo, all just these awful, my Allegretto. Yeah, LTD is a great guitar. They're the original LTDs used to be made in South Korea. Squire's are good guitars. I mean, all those guitars are way better than our first guitars.
And make no mistake, I know we're bashing on like some real low level, entry level guitars. In the right hands, even the biggest piece of shit can sound great.
Even lefties.
Well, don't go that far, Johnny. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, remember the Blitz by Aria Pro 2? Not a bad guitar. Cheap as fuck, but not a bad guitar.
And if you put a Vinum custom pickup in there, you are hot rodding your sound, as well as touching things with FU Tone hot rod options, because FU Tone is where you would get some amazing. Stay on it, Johnny. You have one job. FU Tone is exactly where you get those hot rod parts.
I just connected with Adam
Floyd.
this morning. Actually,
You connected with him, sort of. No, FU Tone, you want hot rod parts, you go to FU Tone, FU_tone.com, FU-tone.com, new website, I guess, FU-tone.com.
The right website.
I mean, they have titanium parts, they have upgrades, brass blocks, noiseless springs. I mean, just great stuff. Vinum custom pickups, FU Tone, and Tessie switch. If you're into kill switches, holy hell, you want a Tessie switch. Those are the best made kill switches. You could beat the shit out of them. Beat them.
Did you see my video from yesterday?
You guys are whores.
They're terrific. Stay with the program, Paulie.
I don't get nothing. I don't have Tessie switch. I don't have any Vinum pickups. It took Dane to get me one of these.
Hey, all I got from FU Tone is a Christmas card, but I'm waiting this Christmas. I'm going to get presents abound with a little Mancuda. The commercials you do for us have helped our business increase 17%.
If it wasn't for Charles Green, I wouldn't even got any Colonel's popcorn.
Speaking of delicious Colonel's gourmet popcorn.
See what I did there?
Colonel's, nice segue, Paulie.
You're
delicious
welcome. I'm a
Colonel's
professional.
Gourmet popcorn and more. Colonel's gourmet popcorn. Johnny, where is the card? You have one fucking job.
Jesus, there it is. My God, yes. You bet your ass if you'd have said Paul Gilbert or Nuno Betancourt, he would have had that slate up there quick enough. That would have happened quick in a hurry.
What's that? Kiss for delicious Colonel's gourmet popping corn? I really like the taste of their gourmet movie popping corn. It's all butter.
I want some popcorn. I want to eat it today.
They have chocolate covered cashews. They have all sorts of delicious nuts. Gene loves nuts, don't you?
You love nuts.
I love nuts in my mouth.
Paul loves nuts.
How many of you out there can't wait to get those nuts in your mouth? I wrote a song about it. Colonel's gourmet popcorn.
I want some popcorn. It didn't come in the mail.
The Colonel's gourmet.
I would like some popcorn tonight. I'm gonna eat some Colonel's popcorn.
With you.
Johnny's watching over the Gene Simmons graphic there.
I do see his little glasses peeking. Johnny wants some popcorn.
Johnny Beane has beady eyes and bad vision.
And he hasn't washed that scarf.
Johnny's got a case of the COVID because he doesn't wash his scarf.
Oh, no.
How many you out there using an N95 mask like you should? I know everyone here has been vaccinated. I wrote a song about it.
My breath is bad because this cursed stank. It's funny because I could have done all of that entire bit there without doing this, because the only one that sees it is me until Johnny puts me on camera. But I could have did, like, if I had just sat here and done that, it wouldn't have been anywhere as fun. But even if nobody's watching, you're like, yeah, got to play it like this. I don't know why.
Because you got to have fun. This is fun.
Is it?
It's COVID time again. Yeah, so hit the like button and subscribe, please, if you're not too bored with us tonight. So, yeah, Colonel's Delicious Gourmet Popcorn and more.
Buddy.
Mention Johnny Beane or Jay Hannon and get more product. They will give you more bags of popcorn, more nuts, more candy. Always want more delicious Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn and more. Thank you, Colonels.
Did my voice make your ear hurt, buddy? Is that what just happened? Are you sad? Are you sad because I did that? I know. I love you too.
What's this? Holy shit, I can't remember your name. DVD Femsbeur says I can't saying I can't change strings on the last show. What is that?
He's a good bubby.
What were you guys talking? What were you guys talking on Saturday? Or?
We do a string changing show now.
Oh,
where we
Sunday,
change the
Sunday.
strings. And somebody said something about you having all these guitars, and somebody said something about they didn't know if you could even change the strings.
You know what it is?
I do have a question. Do you change your own strings?
Not on a Floyd. Not on a Floyd. On like a normal. Here's the thing. I don't need to change strings a lot because
I have people to do that. That is the most fucking Hollywood thing you've ever said.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
You said
hear me out on this. Because unless I'm playing the guitar, it's safely in a case in a climate-controlled atmosphere. So unlike being in Johnny's color-changing rack or hanging on a wall hanger where strings are sucking in the moisture and getting dead, my guitars are in cases and there's climate control, so they're not deadening as fast. Now, make no mistake, I keep like 5 or 6 out at a time. And when I'm playing them, sure, there's not really a lot of time for them to grow dead strings a lot. But when I first get a guitar, and usually I have the strings changed, that's like the first thing I do. If it's a fixed bridge, I change them. If it's a Kaler, I will change them. If it's a Floyd, my luthier gets it for a setup. That's it. So there you go.
Oh, no, fret level midnight. I heard it. I just didn't have time to do it. Hot damn, Lord above. Need a lot of kernels in the butter tub.
And fuck you, like Zeke. I play all my guitars.
It tastes like shit to me. But I got to tell you, when you said that you don't change your own strings, I was like, holy fucking Hollywood.
Not on a Floyd.
Jesus. Why? You clip the fucking ends, loosen up the fucking...
I know how to do it. The problem is getting it fucking balanced right, and then I'm tuning it, and the thing starts tipping. It's a bitch. It's a bitch to change strings on a Floyd. I do it on a Kaler quad. Zip, twist, 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 cut, done. That's easy. I do it on a regular Kaler. That's easy. On a Floyd, fuck that.
Wait a minute though. But Dana's saying if you ship your guitars to him, he'll change them, but he won't ship them back to you.
Nope. And Dana's on Dana. What's the guitar of the moment for Dane? Dane goes through guitar manufacturers. He had a crush on Rob Chapman for a while. He was getting all the Chapman guitars. I think now it's BC Rich. I think now he's collecting BC Rich guitars. For a while it was Schecter, then it was Chapman, then it was BC Rich.
Who is this?
Dane. Yeah,
Oh,
Dane. He
okay,
go.
okay.
Yeah, he goes through. He's like he has these moments of guitar affection where he only does, he has this real affinity for a certain style of guitar for a while.
For a brand.
For a brand. And right now it's BC Rich.
And let's see. Lenny Lou says, if I can do it, you can do it, man. Could it takes a couple of seconds? Couple of seconds. I could have sex in a couple of seconds. I'm gonna send Lenny Lou my guitars for setups. Am I the only one who has a problem changing full strings on a Floyd and getting it back in balance?
Yes,
level?
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I really
yes, you
am?
are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen,
you change them one at a time.
If there's one thing I do embrace, it's my own incompetence. I have no problem with that.
You change them one at a time, and the tension remains the same.
And what do you start with? The thickest E?
No, you start with your high E and go work your way down.
I never,
or whichever way you choose to do it. But
it doesn't matter. Okay,
you change it one string at a time.
Okay,
Low
that's
E.
Watch
the show.
Watch the show on Sunday and learn how to change strings.
Okay, that's the mistake that I do. I take them all off at once, and then I'm putting them back, and then I'm trying to get the fucking thing balanced back even, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Because you're using
That's the mistake I made.
You're using floating bridges. That's why, and you can't get it. Yeah, you don't take them all off.
Okay, that's the mistake I make then. That's the mistake.
That's one of your mistakes.
Wow. Listen. I'm full of mistakes. Trust me. Here I am on Tuesday night. This is, and anyone that's watching, that's your mistake. So, but hit the like button anyway, please. Yeah, no, look, I do not do good with floating trems. I don't.
Which is weird because
most of
your guitars have floating trems.
Not most of them. Probably about half. And the other half a fixed bridge.
That's 150 guitars.
Yeah, well, it's a lot. Well, again, I don't change strings often. If it's dead, then I change a string. If I break a string, then I just change the one. That I don't have a problem with. But like a full string change, if the guitar is dead, I mean, it's very rare. The way I keep my guitars and the way I store them, it's very rare that I get dead strings like that.
I get them. I mean, on my acoustics, they're dead almost instantly.
I don't play acoustic.
Just the oil in my hands. I've got an acoustic I don't think I've changed the strings on in years. I haven't broken any strings on it, but if I play it, it sounds awful. There's no tone to it at all. But it's a practice guitar. It's just something I do. Go outside and play scales. I have no problem sitting outside with it. You know what I mean? It's a guitar that I don't care about. As long as the strings are in key and I can just exercise my hands on it, then I don't care.
Oh, I plenty exercise my hands. Don't worry about that. I mean,
and then I put that guitar down and I pick up one that sounds good when I actually want to play. But if I'm just practicing and just doing scales and exercising, I don't give a shit if the strings are dead. Couldn't care.
Yeah, it would drive me nuts. But again, the way I store my things, they just don't go dead. Everyone I know, they have their guitars in racks. They have their guitars hanging on the wall. It's going to kill your strings like in no time. If you want to preserve your strings, put in the case until you're ready to use it. And if you leave it out for a couple of days, that's not going to hurt it. But if you leave it out like all year hanging on the wall and the climate's getting humid and stuff, yeah, your strings are gonna be fucking sounding like licorice whips. So yeah, but I have a deal with my luthier. I have a deal with him. I get a certain rate because I bring him a lot of guitars. When I first get a guitar, I give him that guitar to, pro setup, new strings. And then from there, unless it's a repair, he usually doesn't see it again. It's very rare that strings go dead. And I rotate guitars a lot. So.
Well, that's what I just did. I put my Fujigen away and whipped out the ESP today just to have something different. just to rotate that. Excuse me while I whip this out. And I'll play this one for a couple of weeks. Then I'll put it away and pick up a Strat and play that for a while. And, I got to figure out, I got to move some amps and stuff around because I bought that silver Jubilee setup. And I told you I have the 20 watt head with the 1936 2x12 cab, that comes with it, the matching silver cab. Well, I happen to have found the matching 4x12 silver Jubilee cab too, so I can build a 3/4 stack.
Oh, that's cool.
So I've got the 4x12 with the silver Tolex, and then the 2x12 on top of it, and then the head. And you have to put the 2x12 on top of the 4x12 because the depth of the cabinet doesn't work for you to put the 4x12 on the 2x12 and use that as your base reference.
Right.
That kind of sucks. That's the only thing that's a problem with it. But that, running that 20-watt Silver Jubilee head into 6 speakers will allow me to crank that thing up and sort of heat up those tubes enough and get me volume without having to crank the thing up so loud that, you know what I mean, that my neighbors will hear me.
No, I see a lot of people use a hot plate for that. I'm sitting there boiling eggs while I'm
Yeah, I just want to drive those tubes enough. So if I put enough resistance on it and get it to pull that head, maybe I'll get it to heat up better and get it, push that thing a little harder.
Sure. No, that's cool. I like my silver. I do.
Yeah, I've got the 20 Metallic Ace is the 2550. I don't have the 2550. I have the 25. It's the 20/5. It's 20 watts, and then you drop it down to 5 watts if you want. And by the way, in both modes, 5 and 20, it will drive the shit out of those speakers. It's still a cranking amp.
Yeah, you'd be surprised when you're indoors at your house. That 5, it's loud.
It's screaming loud.
You're playing it at 10 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you're screaming. It's screaming loud in your house. And to be honest with you, you put it up into the 20-watt mode. I would have no problem bringing that Silver Jubilee head in 20-watt mode with the 2x12 into a small club and playing it and still be heard. You'd be heard just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a 50-watt JCM 900 2x12 combo that I would take that into any club and not have a problem with it. Those things they fucking crank. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love having full stacks. I have a full stack. I love it, but it's really impractical in 2021 to bring a full stack into a club.
No,
back in the 80s, you had to.
Yeah, because that was a whole different thing. But now you usually don't do it.
No, past 15 years.
No,
I'm still addicted to my favorite go-to play amp in the house is that GKML 250, and Dane had one on the show last week. He's got one in his store. I love that thing. Just check it out when you're in his store, Paulie. Play through it. It's solid state, which is not usually my jam, but the tones out of that thing, I love it. Tone.
It's 7:30. It's Lemmy time. I gotta run. She just came out with the ball.
It's Lemmy time. It's Lemmy time. Have a good night, Paul.
I guess you guys are done at 8 tonight, right?
Of course.
Yes.
All right. Well, then if I'm back in time to say goodbye, I will. Good luck.
The great Neanderthal, everybody. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, buddy.
Mornings. KSLX? KSLX?
KLOS? I think it's KLOS.
I wish it was
in Arizona. Was it?
No.
What is it? I don't know.
KSLX. Right, Paul? Well, he left.
Paulie, what is it? He's probably still listening.
Chat, what is it? Somebody knows.
What's Paulie's station in Arizona? Because you want to listen to him in the mornings.
Where'd Paul go, you guys?
Well, look for him performing at Dane Zimmerman's guitar show, guitar store, Zim's Guitars. KSLX. Thank you, Lagoon.
Good Palms. Channel member.
Thank you. WSEX, All Sex Radio. There we go. So let's move on. Let's talk about well, let's see. We're closing in on show and tell guitar. Let's see. Yeah, let's do the show and tell guitar. It is time for the show and tell guitar, everybody. The clue I gave you for today's show and tell guitar was that what is it? It's one. Want to be DJ. That's terrible, man. You should all have as much success. God bless my buddy.
He wishes.
There.
He wishes.
God bless my buddy there. Yeah, I gave the clue earlier today, the show and tell guitar. It has to do with both Kiss and Metallica. And the reason it has to do with Metallica is because of Kirk Hammett recently. We were just talking about Kirk Hammett did a deal with Gibson, and it's a big deal. I don't I didn't know he's still got his ESP contract or it's running out or whatever it is. But it has something to do with that because, ladies and gentlemen,
Where's
Johnny?
my drum solo?
Oh boy, you have one job, baby.
Watch this. Here we go. Watch this.
Oh, look at that thing.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Get that thumbnail, Johnny.
That guitar needs a Floyd.
Yeah, right.
What video is this? Yeah, right. There it is.
Got it?
All right.
Okay. This is a 1978 Gibson Les Paul Pro modified to have humbuckers in it because the 78 Pros had P90s in it. But the thing about it is this looks a lot like Ace Frehley of Kiss, Tobacco Burst, one of his main guitars back in the 70s days of Kiss. He always leaned on his Tobacco Burst, which is what this particular one looks a lot like. The only difference is it doesn't have white DiMarzios in it. Instead, this has burst bucker pickups, which, holy shit, what a great fucking Les Paul tone burst bucker pros put out. They make various burst buckers. They make the burst bucker 1s and 2s and whatever. But the burst bucker pros, they're amazing. They're really, really good. So this thing I originally got as a trade for someone. And like I said earlier, it's funny we were talking about Les Pauls on the show earlier because that wasn't really planned. That I happen to have this as today's show and tell guitar. But the thing about it is I bought this as a trade for someone who had a guitar I wanted, a Super Strat, and said, hey, you get me a copy of Ace Frehley's 70s Tobacco Burst Les Paul, a really good one, and I will trade you my guitar for it. So I did a lot of hunting. I finally got this. It looked just like Ace's, and he said, hey, I have 2 sets of pickups in it. I have the DiMarzio Super Distortions to make it look exactly like Ace's, and I have Burst Bucker Pros that are in it now. I played it with the Burst Bucker Pros, and the tone on it was amazing. So I didn't go to the DiMarzios because half of my BC Riches have DiMarzios anyway. So I kept the Burst Bucker Pros in there, and I didn't do the trade because this guitar I bonded with more than any other Les Paul I have ever played. It is beat to hell. It has a lot of general wear on it. You can see there's chips and worming and scratches all over it. And that's cool on a Les Paul. There's something about a Les Paul when it gets played and the wood starts wearing down and it gets beaten a little bit. Look on the side. You can see all the wood scraping off, and especially on the top. Actually, you see it on the top, but more on the bottom. I mean, just look at all this wood coming off. This is from Playwear. This thing is broken in like my favorite pair of sneakers. This thing's so comfortable to play. It has great action. It has a really, really nice ebony fretboard back when they were using really good dark ebony. And again, it was routed out for humbuckers because this is just like, the Les Paul specials in the 70s, or the Les Paul Deluxes rather, where they came with mini hums in the Deluxes of the early 70s, and most people just routed them out for humbuckers. So very similar thing with the Pros. These came in 1978 with P90s. They just went bye-bye, and someone routed them out for full-size hums. And I'm so glad they did because there's something about this particular one. And for Norlin era Les Paul, which I've held as high as 13 pounds, this thing is 8+ pounds. It's just a little over 8 pounds. It's not chambered. It's not a pancake body either because it's 78. So they did away with the pancake body. This is solid mahogany. And it's light. It's really freaking light. It's just over 8 pounds, which for a solid body Les Paul, that's an amazing weight for that. So really, really just one I bonded with. I stumbled on it and I didn't mean to keep it, but I couldn't resist. This was way better than what I was treating it for. And this gets a lot of love from me. I love this thing to death. I love the character it has on it. I love how broken in it is. And it looks badass. Look at that great finish. I don't care if it's got, the fucking flame, cherry burst flame. Fuck all that shit of the R9s, okay? I like a guitar, a Les Paul specifically, that's broken in and comfortable and really loves to get played. They get better with age the more you play certain guitars. This is one of them. This is a player's guitar, and I love it for it. So you have the Burstbucker Pros in there giving me the tone. Really great. I love the amber knobs on it. Very, very, very nice feel to it. It's not a thick neck. It's very much like a Les Paul 1960 neck, where it's just that thinner profile, and I really like that thinner profile. I'm not really into that big baseball neck, that baseball bat 59 neck. I really like the thinner necks, and this one has that kind of profile. And like I said, Paul, like Paulie said, plain tops are very cool. I love bursts. This is a really nice tobacco burst finish over a really basic plain top. It's got a nice basic wood grain, but it's not a flamey kind of pattern. It's just really, really cool. And I love that Ace Frehley vibe. And yeah, I mean, it's just broken in. This is one I have the pick guard off. I think I have 4 Les Pauls total in my whole collection. This is how little I bond with Les Pauls. And when I buy them, I really, have to bond with them. Out of those 4, one of them I recently sold to a buddy of mine, and that leaves me 3. So this is how little I bond with Les Pauls casually. But when you find a winner like this, you grab it, you cling onto it with a death grip, especially in the Norlin years when the quality was either really shit or really good if you found a diamond. This is one of those diamonds. This is, I've invited people over to play this specifically and get a feel for it and tell me how they felt. And they were blown away by it because it's just really, really a great feel. 1978, again, another great thing. The Pro always came with a nice ebony board. They only made, I think, 3 colors in the Pro. They made black, they made tobacco burst, and I believe they made a cherry burst. So they're not common, but I just happen to really, really love this particular Les Paul. Like I said, because of its lightweight and its playability and its really good tone, I dig it. The case is a pain in the ass on this. It's got one of those big bulky fiberglass chainsaw cases, or plastic, heavy plastic, whatever it is. So it's kind of a bulky case, but it protects it and whatever, and it's the original case. But just how broken in this thing is. Every scuff, it's like I get a Mockingbird or a Bitch or something. I like it to be as clean as possible, and I keep it clean. There's something about a Les Paul that when it gets scraped up and chipped and worn in, it's really, really making it cooler. Someone had a black one I liked at a show. It was this personal guitar, not for sale. He let me play it though. Paint, half of it was off. There's something about a Les Paul that's really cool when it's naturally reliced like that. Nothing against, you guys that like the Murphy jobs or the factory relic R9s or something. I mean, they're cool and everything, but there's something about a real broken in Les Paul that's like got that honest road wear from being gigged and toured and all that stuff. It's got sweat and cigarette smoke and booze and jizz and all sorts of stuff that just was dripping all over this thing for years. And as the paint wears off and the wood wears in and you see more bare wood just from it being played so much, there's something really cool about that. And again, the reason you get a Les Paul, tone. They have a really thick, meaty, unique tone that you just don't get in a lot of guitars. That is a fact. And like I said, this particular one with these Burstbucker Pros, I just love the way they sound. It's such a heavy Les Paul tone. Really, really nice. Tone.
Tone.
Just look at all that wood worn off there. Just look at that. Just broken in, smooth as glass, and so fucking light. How many of you guys out there have played a Norlin Les Paul that is backbreaking? And make no mistake, I'm a sit-down player. I just play in my living room for fun and blah, blah, blah. But the fact is, if you're on a stage and you have a 11, 12, 13-pound fucking Les Paul on your back, holy shit, that is not fun, you know? So... like I said, I don't bring Les Pauls on that often. I would love you to play this Neanderthal at some point when you come over, or I go over there for a visit. I will have this guitar with me, because this and my 89 are my two favorites to play. And I have a 77 that's also really, really great. But this one gets the most love out of all of them. This one really, really gets played a lot. And there you go. I mean, that's basically the gist of it. You know, looking like Ace Frehley, but again, Kirk Hammett plays them. The guys in Cinderella play them. Slash plays them. Everybody that plays a certain endorsee guitar still has a Les Paul. I mean, it's kind of the standard. I mean, Neanderthal loves them. Neanderthal plays them all the time. That's his favorite. And look, a lot of guys, it is their favorite, and it's the standard go-to for pretty much everybody. You want a Les Paul. If you're a real player, you want to have at least one Les Paul that you can go to and really beat on. And the fact is, you can get an endorsement for whatever brand you want. I guarantee there's still a Les Paul, whether it's at their house or in their recording studio, because there's just something about them. There's just something about them, you know? I'm not very big on walking into, you know, Guitar Center or Sam Ash and seeing your common wall of everything's Cherry Burst or everything's Lemon Burst or you know, it does get boring looking at a wall of basically brown guitars. But when you find broken in ones with character or certain unique colors or certain wood patterns or vintage looks, there's just something about them. There's just something about them. And, you know, the more you play these, the more you get attached to them. Like I said, you won't see them on every stage, but you will guarantee every pro player has at least one. And guys like Joe Bonamassa and, you know, all those guys, the big Les Paul lovers, I mean, they just have endless floods of Les Pauls, you know, vintage variations, you know, I mean, okay, Tracy Guns. There's another guy who constantly changes gears. Tracy, love the man, love his music, constantly changing gears. And yet, you'll notice the one thing he still has is his Les Pauls. He always keeps his Les Pauls. He's gone through Gunslingers and Bitches and Charvels and Kramers and you name it. Tracy's had it. But you go check out his gear, the stuff he keeps personally, he's got Marshall amps and Les Pauls. And that's the good thing about it. You don't need a lot of pedals. If you plug this in to a straight tube Marshall, like a JCM 800 or a Plexi or something like that, you are going to have that classic 80s tone that just is raw, you know, turn up the feedback. You're just going to have that very distinct Les Paul, thick, rocking, distorted sound. So everybody loves a Les Paul. Sure, I don't have as many of them, blah, 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 blah. And yes, Hellstorm, I can change strings on this. Absolutely. As long as it's not a fucking Floyd, I'm good at changing strings. But there's just something about it. Like I said, I don't have many Les Pauls. I'm really, really picky about them because a lot of guys are just happy to have an R9 or an R7 or, you know, whatever, and just say, hey, I have a Les Paul. It's a great, classic, well-built guitar, and that's great. And some guys are very finicky about, like Paul said earlier, the good wood years, you know, oh, 2002 has better wood than 2009. Okay, I could see that too. And some guys are strictly to the vintage stuff, like, oh, I only want a 59 to 60 burst or whatever. And that's great. But no matter which way you slice it, they all play really, really differently and they have different characteristics. I went through a ton of custom shop Les Pauls, and I couldn't find a one of them that I really, really enjoyed playing. And something like this stumbles its way into my life by accident, and I bonded with it immediately. I was not letting this go, you know. And the same thing, my 89, I have like it's a metallic top red 89, very, very pretty guitar. I had it on the show once before. No, I didn't have that one on the show. I had my blue one on the show, but that red 89, very unique color, kind of like a almost like a mix of gold top and red. Very, very pretty. I just happened to stumble on that at a guitar show. I always look at guitars I like. I play the Les Pauls, and I usually give them back. This one I happened to play. I said, holy shit. I said to my ex-girlfriend at the time, I said, I got to get this. She's like, you said you weren't buying a guitar today. I said, have we met? You know? And that particular one just came home with me that day on a whim because, again, I'm that finicky about what I can and can't bond with when it's a Les Paul, because I can get a vintage gunslinger, something like that, over my shoulder. I know what a gunslinger is going to feel like. I know what an 85 Kramer Beretta is going to feel like. There's a certain standard of quality and feel that certain guitars have that don't vary much. I know I will like a vintage BC Rich Mockingbird. I know the feel of that. I know, even though there's carve variations, because those were handmade, I know I'm going to enjoy that. I know the feel that's going to work with me. A Les Paul, very, very different. They're so varying in quality from year to year to year to year. And through those years, individual factions of it being broken in or being too new or being too heavy, or it just doesn't have that magic, you know? And when you find that Les Paul magic, that's the time you just grasp onto it, like grab its balls and give it a yank, motherfucker, because that's what you want. You want to grab onto that when you can find it. But I can't order a Les Paul over Reverb. I can't order a Les Paul on eBay. I can't order a Les Paul on the mail. I could do that with most of the guitars I like to play. I could do it with an old San Dimas Charvel. I could do it with a Jackson Rhodes. I could order those all day long through the mail. Les Pauls, I will only buy in person because the variations on how they feel, how they play, what they weigh, the tone of them is so different that I literally have to have it in my hands. I have to feel it in person, and you have to find the right one. You just have to find the right one. And like a good woman, when you find the right one, you cling on and you hold on to them. And that's what I did with this guy. So there is your show and tell guitar today with a lot of babbling. A 1978 Gibson Les Paul Pro modified with burst bucker pickups in Ace Frehley tobacco burst finish in honor of Kirk Hammett joining with Gibson. There you go. Just a perfect weight for a solid body, not chambered, not pancake body Les Paul. This is such a good weight, Johnny.
And it looks great.
It looks dynamite. I love this thing. I go back to this. This is one of those guitars, you know, I have a lot of rotation in what I play because, you know, that's the joy of having a big collection is you enjoy the variety. So I pull out these 5, I put back those 5, and, you know, there are ones that I keep going back to, you know, a favorite gunslinger, a favorite Mockingbird or two, a favorite bitch. This is my favorite Les Paul. And like I said, for me to have this many Les Pauls in my collection means I'm really, really finicky about the Les Pauls that I enjoy. And this fits the bill so perfectly. The best thing that ever fell into my lap. Yeah. And I mean, it just gets better the more you play it. Just as it ages, it gets better. It's so broken in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to questions in the chat. DVD from Zabur. I can never pronounce your name, man. How much should you spend on a Les Paul? It all depends on what your gig is. I mean, I have friends with 59 Les Pauls that, you know, they spent $250,000 on and more. But again, that's more of a unique, if you've got that much money and you can do it, sure, it's an amazing guitar. It's an incredible, it doesn't get any more classic than that. If you have that kind of money to play with, God bless you, go for it. But you can find Norlin years, like 68 through 86 at varying prices. The 68 and 69 ones go for a little more. And then you have the deluxe ones, and you have the pros, and you have the customs and the standards. What I always say is just, I know it sounds pretty basic, buy what you like. And that's the true answer, because there's no set price on what you should spend on a Les Paul. If you find one that would normally be $2,000, or I'm sorry, $3,000, and the guy's selling it for $4,000 because it just is an incredible player, then that one's $4,000. It's worth overpaying if you find that one that has a little magic to it, And I really find that the Les Pauls that I think are special have that magic to them that a lot of guitars don't. So, the realistic answer is while there are some basic guidelines, you can get certain Norlin years for, $2,500, $3,000, varying, and you can get an R9 custom shop for $12,000, $8,000, $6,000. There's no right answer. Find one you bond with first and just determine if that's worth it to you, to play it. If this one's $5,000 for a custom shop R9, and you can get a Norlin, deluxe for $3,000, what's the difference between them besides $2,000? How they play, how they sound, how they feel, how much they weigh. If you're bonding with it, just do what you got to do to get one. That's the best advice I could give. I know that's not the right answer you're looking for, but that's the truth. That's the truthful answer. Let's see.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if we said this, but with Les Pauls, either you're a major fan of that style of guitar, or you're not. And if you love them, they're well worth it to you.
Yeah, I hope
that made sense.
Les Pauls aren't even my favorite guitar by far. Look at that pink checkerboard BC Rich Gunslinger is more representative of what I like to play. But there's something about a Les Paul that you need at least one. And it can be an Epiphone, it can be a Gibson. Just see what you bond with. That's the whole thing, is see what you bond with. Simon Hosford, nothing is more important than that bond with a guitar, and it can't be manufacturer or faked. My friend, no truer words were said. Absolutely. Play these in person and see what tone speaks to you. See what neck, because they're really different. A 1960s style neck like this is much thinner than that 59 baseball bat neck that you may love also. But you got to choose what's right for you. Some of them, they just weigh so fucking much. Even if a sit-down player, you may say, I don't want 13 pounds on my fucking lap all day. You just got to play them and find which ones you bond with. So there's my advice to you on that. Now I'll go through the chat. Let's see. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words. Let's see.
Speaking of Sherman Callahan, check this out. Sherman Callahan. Sherman drew this. Right, Sherman? You drew this, right? He sent this in.
What are we looking at?
It's a Cinderella drawing that he did, autographed.
Wait, that's a drawing?
Yeah. Yeah, Sherman draws.
Holy shit. That's a drawing?
Right?
That looks like a photo.
Is that right, Sherman?
No, that's got to be a photo, man.
No, that's a drawing.
That's not a drawing.
Sherman, did you draw that? I think he did.
Or did you take a photo? Because that looks, dude. If you drew that, you should be a comic book artist, because that looks like photorealistic. That's a photograph, Johnny. That's got to be a photograph.
Sherman. Well, I only know two Sherman Callahans, and I think one. No, I'm kidding.
That's a photograph, John.
No, you drew that, right?
That's not a drawing.
No, he does art.
Dude, if you drew that, that's incredible because that looks photorealistic. And let's see. David Shea Gormley has a question. Mancuda, did you ever find an 88-89 Kramer Pacer in white? I have not. I'm still looking. I want either a white Kramer Pacer, like an Imperial with the two humbuckers is like my ideal. If I could find one in snow white, or maybe a certain white Les Paul. If I could find a white Les Paul that I bond with, that's what those particular set of pink Vinum custom pickups I'm waiting for to put in. That's a very specific guitars that I want for those particular pickups there. Let's see, looking through the chat. Mike Neese says, I have all the good guitars. Thank you, brother. But I share them with you guys because I love you all. Yeah, Neanderthal is one of the biggest advocates for Les Pauls. He loves them. Let's see.
Okay. All right. Sherman, he wrote. Okay. All right. So he says he didn't draw that.
Yeah, that's a photo, Johnny.
But somebody drew that, right?
It's a photo. It's a photo. Someone took a photo.
No, somebody else drew that. A friend of his drew that, and he bought it from his friend.
In the 80s, it took all these photos back then, at least different artists, and draws them. I did not draw this. His name is Chill or Raymond Campbell, great artist or actor and drummer. I wish I could draw like that. But so Sherman, is the one that we just saw the photo of Cinderella, is that a drawing or a photograph? That specific one is a drawing?
That's a drawing. That's a drawing.
That looks photorealistic to me on my screen. If that's a drawing, that's an incredibly good drawing. Yeah, Tom Kiefer, big Les Paul player. Ace Frehley just puts it on 10 and goes for it. Let's see. Yeah, Cuttenhead says Les Pauls look better without the pick guard. It depends on the Les Paul. I like certain Les Pauls with the pick guard and certain ones without it. My red one has a white pickup on it. I just think it dresses up real nice. But this Tobacco Burst, I wanted, it looks just like Ace's. So, his doesn't have the pick guard on it. So I like it. And certain wood tops, figured wood tops, I don't want the pick guard on there because I want to see more of the pretty wood. But I like both. I like both. Certain ones have pick guards, certain ones don't. Let's see. Yeah, Mike needs all guitars need to be played often. Les Pauls just get better with age. They really do. And yeah, I like the burst on the back of the headstock too. Lenny Lou brings it up. The back of the necks of certain years have that kind of burst effect. I mean, this one, the wood's wearing down, which is really what I like. But look at the little burst effect on the back of the headstock. I really love that too. See? That's really cool. And this one has a volute, which, again, some people like, some people don't. I like it because it adds strength to what is design-wise a really weak headstock. So I'm a fan of the volute that certain Norlin years had. And they did it for the right reasons, for strength. They, at the nut, at this angle, it's very weak. But with the volute, it gives a little more strength. Make no mistake, no headstock breaks more than a Les Paul headstock, even with the fucking volute. But, the fact is, some people love it, some people hate it. I'm a fan of it, so I'm good with or without the little volute of wood, that little extra bit of wood. Let's see. Hip Metalworks wants to know, did they use original 50s machinery or is that a myth? I mean, I don't think they used the original 50s machinery. Maybe they did. I'm not familiar with it. I know they made guitars in Kalamazoo. And I guess is that also where they made the 50s ones? I'm not sure, but they made them in two different factories. I guess some of them would have had to have been on the same machinery, I suppose. But I mean, look, you can't compare even the best Norlin with, a 59 Les Paul. I mean, that's why one costs $250,000 and one's, $5,000. So as amazing as this is, and I wouldn't trade it for any guitar. You know, I mean, there's something incredible about those 59 to, I'm sorry, 58 to 60s. They really are. Even the 52 to 57 gold tops are really good, but those bursts are just, you know, they're legendary for a reason. Let's see. What can I tell you about the Gibson reissue year guitars, 75 to 78? I mean, not really much. I mean, they were modeled after certain ones. I know they did a run recently. Guitar Center did a special run of 75 deluxes modeled after one that they had in stock. You know, a sparkle, red sparkle and blue sparkle. I mean, you know, like I said, every Gibson stands on its own. I personally, and this is just my own taste, I don't like the brand new ones anywhere near as much as I like the older ones. And when I say the older ones, I'm including ones from the 80s and, you know, certain ones in the 90s and certain years in the very early 2000s. They did have good wood years, in my opinion. And you know, even the Norlins, like I said, total hit or miss on quality. Even those had, you know, certain ones that were just made amazing and certain ones that were just lead weight dogs. You know, so when you're saying make a replica of like a 75 or something like that, I have to basically say, you know, play it, because I've played a 75 and it feels different than another 75. Just like I think something made today to be like a 75 is most likely going to be very different. So just, you know, play it. Always with a Les Paul, you should play it. Try not to order them online. Try to play them in your hands. If you're someone that bonds with Les Pauls no matter what, okay, you're not as finicky as I am with those. And that's great. You can order them. But for me, I got to have it in my hands. I always recommend you play a Les Paul before you buy it. Specific, one by one. Everyone stands on its own. David Shea Gormley says, I only have 3 Les Pauls. I barely bond with them. Hey, listen, I have 300 guitars. I have 4 Les Pauls, just got rid of 1. The other 3 are staying, but I mean, this is how finicky I am with them. They're really on a case-by-case basis. Let's see. Bozique says, I'm not much of an 80s Super Strat guy like I used to be. This may be my favorite guitar you've shown on here. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Fret Level Midnight, you should route it for the smoke bomb. Yeah, Ace had his with that third pickup in the middle on some of his and put the little smoke bomb compartment in there. But this is modeled after pretty much his main guitar. If you look at old photos of Ace, this is pretty much what he was playing was his tobacco burst. I think his was maybe like, I don't know if it was like a 75 or 76, but let's see. And yeah, I definitely love this guitar. Someone says, man, I think you like that guitar. I love this guitar. I really do. I really do. And yeah, James Stewart talks about the Murphy Lab for $7,000. Here's the thing about the Murphy age guitars. Obviously, Tom Murphy and his lab, quote unquote, because now it's not just him. I mean, he was doing these relics initially on his own, and Gibson saw he was making hand over fist money calling them Murphy age guitars, so they put him on payroll. And, you know, he got assistants to do it with him and people he could train and do it with him. And now he's got the whole Murphy Lab through Gibson. And, you know, it makes them look like an aged guitar. He does really nice work. Some of them look beautiful. They're expensive as fuck, though. And on a personal note, relic guitars are hit or miss for me. I'm not big into them. I love a guitar like this that has been naturally relic through real road wear and, you know, honest wear, real wear over the years that it's earned. Just every scratch, nick, dent, check, you know, whatever it is. I like it that way. I'm not big into the relic guitars, especially for what they charge, but some people are. It's all a matter of personal taste, you know.
Depends
If you
on the
don't
guitar.
Yeah, if you don't want to
Depends on
spend
what
on,
it
if
is.
you don't want to spend 300,000 on a 59, really aged, beautifully, burst, and you want a replica of it, okay, you're spending your money for what you're getting. Let's
Gee.
see. Rena says it's broken in like one of his condoms. There you go. But I play this more than your condom. There you go. Ace Frehley loved it. What year? 1978. Oh, and you know what else I was having a discussion about with these the other day was Mitch Perry. Mitch Perry, who's played, Guild and BC Rich Blade Runners. He's played other BC Rich guitars and other super strats over the years. And his favorite go-to guitar right now is a 1978 Les Paul Pro. He keeps the P90s in his. He likes the P90 tone, but he has the black one. He has a black one, and it's got some wear over here. You could see him play. He's a member of the house band at the Whiskey on the Ultimate Jam nights. You could see Mitch Perry play a lot. So look for that. His is also a 78. Same thing, great ebony board. He loves the action. Same thing. His, however, is 13 pounds. His is very, very heavy, but he says it's worth it for the playability. He deals with the weight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and there you go, guys. So there's your show and tell guitar. Let's see. Let's just
You just dropped it on the floor.
Yeah, I know. Oh, no, there goes that headstock. that volute didn't save it. Let's take 5 minutes and let's take 5 minutes and bang out the last bit of music news real quick. So let's see. Baby Metal on October 10th, the Fox God has spoken. Baby Metal will be sealed away from the rest of the world on October 10th. On October 1st and September 29th in Japan, they are releasing their new 10 Baby Metal Budokan album, which is a double live album, 2 CDs, and they have a DVD Blu-ray release of it also.
A DVD?
DVD and Blu-ray.
Is it going to be a bigger box set than Mr. Big's The Vault?
Listen, my storage unit isn't as big as Mr. Big's box set.
Mr. Box is big?
Mr. Big's big box. And Mrs. Big's big box. Mrs. Big's box is so big. She's got a big box, just a big.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. No, but so Baby Metal is they're going away for a while. I don't know what it's probably some marketing gimmick, something until their next album gets released or something. But apparently they're going away, getting sealed away from the world, according to the Fox God, which gives them their musical powers. October 10th, and I'm a big Baby Metal fan. I love Baby Metal. Looking forward to that live album, 10 Baby Metal at Budokan. That's their 10th anniversary. So I think that's going to be very cool. So again, released in Japan, September 29th, released October 1st in the States and in Europe. Let's see. Want to wish Oz Fox well, of the band Stryper, recovering from brain surgery. And Mike Gobby from back surgery, wishing him well. Feel better, brother. Let's see. Megadeth's new album is almost done. He's sent out little snippets, but he's not previewing yet. And the official title will be The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Still no official announcement who the new bass player is, but we've talked about it on the show. There's little hints.
So the album was done. They just redid all the bass parts.
No, the album is almost done. The album is almost done. They did redo the bass parts that Dave Jr. did. Thank you, False Flag.
False
Flag. But he's basically almost done mixing it right now. So the new Megadeth album is almost done, and I'm curious to see it with the new bass player. I hope it's good. Hear it with the new bass player. I'm dying to play Dave's new Gibson V's, particularly that Greenburst one, really catches my eye.
Gibson V.
Like vagina. Listen for a new version of Metallica's Nothing Else Matters on the new Disney Jungle Cruise movie. So check that out. It's played apparently throughout the movie at various spots. Guess that's the main theme of the film. Let's see. And last but not least, let's wish Wolfgang Van Halen good luck on his Guns N' Roses supporting tour. He just embarked with them. Opened on Saturday at Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I saw some of the videos. They're all online, by the way. Check them out on YouTube. A lot of video clips of that first show. They are terrific. Wolfgang was spot on. Sounded like he did in the studio. He's a great performer. And
they just played tonight. They
they
played hours ago already because they're on the East Coast.
Well, hopefully nobody saw that because they're watching our show tonight. That's the hope.
Actually, Wolfgang his set was done by the time we started.
Oh, good. So we hope you saw and enjoy it, and you'll see Guns N' Roses another time. No, they're great. But I was very happy to see those videos. Watch them on YouTube, and you'll see. The thing is, some bands, they sound great in the studio, then they get live, and they're all jarbled and misshapen. Wolfie and his band are tight. They're solid. They're exactly like you want them to sound, just like the album. And look, the guy's very talented. God bless him. We wish him well on that tour, and I think you should all see Wolfgang Van Halen and supporting for Guns N' Roses. Great tour. I really hope so. Thank you, False Flag. And that, Johnny, is what's happening in music news this week.
Right on.
Right? So saith Blue Rhino. Ooh, there you go. Man, a few words.
Blue Rhino.
He knows how to change strings on a Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's good at it. I know how to. I'm just not good at it.
So we do a string change show Sunday, 9 p.m. Pacific. So it's technically it's midnight Eastern time. We do these shows, but yeah, they're saying they want to see you come on and change strings on your. Everybody wants to see you change strings on one of your guitars. Is what they're saying.
Well, they want to see me. What they want to see, they don't want to see me do a normal string change. They want to see me do it on a Floyd because I'll fuck it up. That's what they want. They want to. That's what they want to say. That's what they want to say. They want to see me poke my fucking eye out with an E string.
Where is that? That's this one.
Yeah. Now that's what they want to see. No, look, at least I'm honest about it. I mean, like I said, I guess that is the mistake I have made. Jay is right. I have not changed them one at a time. I'm used to taking off all the strings and cleaning everything around it and then putting on fresh strings and trying to put something under the Floyd to balance it.
And it goes like this.
And it goes like this when I go to tune it up. And then I loosen things. It
keeps going,
mess.
And you can't, and it's a mess. Yeah, that's.
And I know they make these great little wedges to put under them, but I don't have one. And even if I did, I'd probably fuck that up. It's just easier for me to drop it off of my guy and just say,
I have one.
Like I said, for as often as I change strings on a guitar that I haven't already had pro set up, it's very rare, like I said, because of the climate, because of the way I store it, because they're usually in cases, unless I pull them out to play, my strings barely ever go dead. I mean, I have guitars that have had strings for years and years, and the strings are still good. Because again, you keep it in the case and a climate control. But yeah, if you keep it on the stands more, if you keep it in a rack, if you keep it on wall hangers, they're going to go dead within the year easily. And then you're always changing strings, which is not really an option for me because I have a lot of fucking guitars and that's a lot of money. I'd rather spend the money on guitars than, display them like that and go through cases and cases of strings. It's one thing if you're playing and a string breaks. That's one thing, but like to have strings dead in every year on all those guitars, if I kept them all out in the open, I'd go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't enjoy it. It would ruin the hobby for me.
Yeah. By the way, Michael B, he was on with us. Channel member Michael B, executive producer. Michael B, he was on with us last Sunday. So check out last week's episode. I know this link will take you to the week before, but the playlist, it'll take you to last week or last Sunday's show. And Michael
Sunday,
B.
Sunday. Change your strings. Coming this Sunday. You want strings? We got strings. String change on Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael B was with us. It was great to have you, man. There he is. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Check out that video.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, let's see. We got all our sponsors in because I feel bad. Apologies last week to Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn. I skipped them last week, so we did an extra big ad for you today. So thank you, Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn. Delicious Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn and more. Candy, nuts, everything you want. Diabetic candy. They got everything. Just check it out. Tell them Johnny Beane and Jay Hannon sent you, and you will get more product. And it's worth it. You want more product. So thank you to our beloved sponsors.
We love all of you.
Yeah, and that's why we have to make sure we get to all of you every week.
And if you're out there and if you want to sponsor the show, contact me and we'll love you too.
Yes. And we will cut you the best deal ever. But you got to send Neanderthal stuff. All of you should be sending Neanderthal stuff. Give some love to the man. Jeez. All right, let's thank our beloved channel members. Thank you to Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Richard Poole, Linny Lou, and Mary. Gargets Entertainment, Kurt 5150, Susan Silvestri, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazek, Sean Bolland, Wayno, Stephen Franklin, Will Starr, R. Habs, KXM Rock, David Shea Gomery, Bo Zeke, Crazy Cook 678, Carol Hatcher, False Flag, Margaret Scranton, Sean Silas, Trevor Burson, Jarhead Rock. Have you left a thumbs up yet? If you have not, please leave a thumbs up on the video. Let's also thank our other channel members, our beloved and treasured channel members, because we love and value you. Like Hal Face, John Moronic, James Gum, Hillary Lewis, Jim Nicholas, Mr. 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., that's Bruce, Frag 5150, Pal Guitars, Dan Halen, Frank Corcoran, Ben Tom and Tom Jr., Jeff T, R2R3 Locking Nut, Fernando Riley, Robot Master Switch, 6Chick71, Rick Green, the Chad, 2 Brain Cells, G-Man, Michael B, Thomas Santiago, Voodoo Child SJ, that is my buddy Sean Johnson, Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost BC Rich, 5150 TV, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, Hugh Caldwell, David Crosby is a dildo fucker. I am not. You sure are. Jesus Rapes Me, Randy Price, James 5150, Christopher Live Sawa, Laguna Palms, Murphy, Steve Barton, All Dave All Night, Tuba, Simon Hosford, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael is cool.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words. And please leave a thumbs up on the video and leave comments in the video because we love comments. We love reading your comments. We love responding to your comments. And above all, thank you so much for spending Tuesday night with us on Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. Please mask up, get the vaccine, be safe. Let's get through this pandemic. We can do this. Let's just, forget politics. Let's be safe and take care of each other. I want to see everyone safe, okay? Because we love you. We really do.
Yeah.
And thank you, Renus. Yes, wear a condom as well. Just not on your head like Johnny.
That's right.
That's right.
And see, I can still see what I'm doing.
Yes, you're like spot. Gone.
Oh, whoops.
What the fuck was that? Jesus Christ. Thank you, Dane Zimmerman. Let's see. Dane Zimmerman says, I already gave Neanderthal a bunch of free stuff and he rapes me on every guitar I selling.
Oh my gosh.
And if you're in Arizona, check out Zim's Guitars in Arizona. Big, beautiful new store. I think he's online too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to Zim's Guitars online. Check out our buddy Dane's beautiful guitar store. Remember, he doesn't ship, but he might ship now. We'll see. Stay tuned for that, boys and girls. And remember, tomorrow's Metal Wednesday with our buddy, the great Jay Hannon of the band Gizmochi, and Boner Jams on Metal Wednesday tomorrow.
That's right.
So check that out.
Be here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Yeah,
All
why
right.
not?
All right. Good
All
night,
right.
everybody.
Love you, appreciate you. Good night, everybody. Be safe.